There's two manatee over here, and one of them is on its back.
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not.
A South Carolina couple is suing Clemson University and a fraternity this morning over the death of their son. Sophomore fraternity pledge Tucker Hipps was found dead last September at the edge of a lake. His parents are still seeking answers. Mark Strassman is in Clemson, South Carolina, where investigators say their case is at a standstill. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. This is where the mystery begins, the bridge where Tucker Hipps somehow fell to his death last September. 30 students crossed this bridge during a group run before dawn, but only 29 of them came back.
It never crossed my mind that we would be sitting here today, sending him off to college, that he would never come home. And there's Tucker at Halloween.
Cindy and Gary Hipps have spent 6 months grieving the death of their son. 19-year-old Tucker, a Clemson pre-law student, was their only child.
He was just always into everything. You know, he always wanted to be right at the center of attention when it came to school.
Last September 22nd, 3 fraternity members and 27 pledges, including Hipps, met at Clemson's Donaldson Hall at 5:30 a.m. The pledges and brothers at the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity went for a group run. Hipps, the others later reported, lagged behind on the run and never made it to breakfast. At 1 p.m. that day, they notified campus police he was missing. That afternoon, Hipps's body was discovered lying in rocky, shallow water.
Once they brought the body up from the lake and had it on the stretcher, then they allowed us to come and look at him.
And what was that moment like?
That was probably the worst moment of my entire life, because I can still see his face. I wake up at night and see his face. And, you know, I have all the good memories of him too, but I have that memory.
A coroner ruled Hipps died from blunt force trauma, consistent with a downward, head-first falling injury. He fell 25 feet to his death, but no one else on that run claimed to have seen it.
How could 29 other kids lose track of your son?
That's a great question.
That's the million-dollar question.
That somehow Tucker's running along with 30-something on the side of the bridge there. We just simply minded person. Absolutely. We never believed it.
Did he jump or was he pushed? Investigators say they've explored every possible explanation, but have reached a dead end. Hipps's parents have filed 2 civil suits seeking $50 million in damages against the university, the fraternity, and the bigger members. Those suits allege there was a fatal confrontation on the bridge. They claim text messages reveal the fraternity members had ordered Hipps to show up with food for everyone. He arrived empty-handed, and they allegedly were angry. In a statement, Clemson said it has cooperated with authorities. The school denies the allegations of the lawsuit, but cannot comment further. Sigma Phi Epsilon's attorney said the fraternity will search for the truth and added the allegations have not been substantiated.
Clemson says the fraternity was guilty of a series of violations unrelated to this tragedy, and in February, it suspended the chapter for 5 years. The Hipps family says they want 2 things, the truth and change in the safety culture on campus. Charlie?
Mark, thanks.
When I started drinking warm water to help me lose weight, my friends laughed at me. But when
has begun replacing its fry cooks with robots. But there's one White Castle skill a robot will never master: jumping over the counter to choke a customer.
United States of America. Rip your throat out, drink your blood, motherfucker. Water falling from the sky will hit the target. Time to simplify. Whoa, time to simplify. Oh yeah. From the land, the air, or the sea, bloodthirsty troops will show no fucking mercy.
Don't run away. No? Don't run
Why you
away.
go downward? Downward.
Please. Don't run away.
Alright, bye. It was so nice seeing you. He lived a short life.
Mason, what are you doing? How is rubbing toilet paper on your arms going to make them bigger?
It was a gender reveal video.
You're good. You're good. Calm down.
What are they?
These are tropical. Hold on. You don't want.
Liberty must
right, everybody, welcome into another episode of The Purge. I'm Kane B. Don't worry, come on in and chat. Me and you don't bite. If you're new to the Purge, hit the subscribe button and do the like thing and all the stuff. If you're on the replay, share this video. All right, let's take another walkthrough. And I see we got Danger Zone in the house. Good to see you, Danger Zone. I hope everything's going okay. Were you able to get back to a intact house, or what happened there? Been very worried about you, and I hope you're doing all right. Danger Zone is in the LA area. There is Rochford. I was trying to get a hold of him to see if he wanted to come up and talk tonight, so you let me know, brother, if you want to go. Alright, this must have been sent by Heather. There's probably some kind of fascinating clue in here. She's always sending me these. And you have to use a cipher with Heather to see exactly where she's going. Let me fast forward a little bit and see if there's something I'm missing. Maybe the donut? I'm not sure what this is all about. I guess this is probably Amsterdam again. She's been saying she wants to go to Amsterdam as fast as she can. And I have M&M's tonight. And I have my own version of peanut M&M's. See? I do the planters and the little blue things. And that works. Because these are little mini guys. And I like the mini guys. And then you can put your weed in there when you're done. Alright, anyway, don't do that. Kids, go to bed. Alright, so we're back. Once again on the Purge. I don't know why Heather sent me this. It's just one of those things, I guess, probably has to do with boats. Is that San Diego? That looks like San Diego. Star of India is at the port of San Diego. And then you got this looks like the Coronado Bridge, it could be. Oh, this is Amsterdam. They have a good old time for the 1 week that they have warm weather there. So we'll you know what? I'll come back and take a look at that one later. Alright, let's get right into it, guys. I don't have time to fuck around with you guys. Woke Up 1984 is in the house. Danger Zone, Danger Zone, Danger Zone. I'll take you right there to the Danger Zone. Jeff H. has arrived to provide some dissension in the ranks. Tony's here. Twiz is watching. And here we go. Alright, so I was just watching this, trying to catch up, and I was using the plop machine, trying to listen, and of course, YouTube busts in with a 20-minute commercial. But I did catch one part of it. That is an angle that we've approached here on The Purge with Jenn from Criminal Confidential, my co-star, which she'll be here tonight, I believe. And then we have this angle, and I thought he provided a new perspective for all the way from over there in Mariold. So let's see what Mr. Harsh has to say.
On the college campus on the night of these crimes, and we also have a lot of police presence in the area. And again, stick a pin in it, because we're going to take into consideration some of the nuances of what was said around this case and how that factors into this. So it says, this may very be why there were no calls, or why no calls were made, or intercepted by police. Knowing police assistance and any frat management involved led to no arrests, which may have prevented the deaths of the four. So what we're basically saying, we know that there was 4 victims, but do we know that they were killed instantaneously, that there wasn't any way that anybody could have been saved in this crime? And I know it's a macabre thing to think about, but we just don't know that. We don't have the answers. We don't know if people took a while to expire. Let's say that. So look, here is the liability factor, which we've mentioned previously. The fight was initiated at the frat party and it ended at the King Road house. So what we're saying is the fight that we have been told happened, there was concerns about it. Parents were even looking to come over and check. So this fight happened. We've also got statements from Steve Gonsalves seemingly suggesting that whatever happened, they didn't have to go upstairs, and we can read into that as much as we like, but it could have simply meant that he felt that the targets were downstairs. So whoever did this, they didn't necessarily need to go up into the property and execute 2 further people in the house because they were not part of the initial issue. But what happened in that house, they have to push a certain narrative. They try very hard to push this, they were asleep, so this was done in people's sleep. When in fact, I don't think that was. And they have to do that because they almost have to make it look like Dylan and Bethany couldn't have heard anything. There was no reason for them to hear anything because this was someone sneaking in and sneakily going about and executing people in the house, when in fact we know that this crime happened very differently. And even though we don't think that the house should have been knocked down, the fact that it was knocked down shows you just how much it's very likely that sound would have been carried through that property. Could somebody have really gone into that house and done this crime without anybody hearing what was going on? Steve Gonsalves again states that there was one hell of a fight. There was one hell of a fight, but it was like a silent movie. Massive fight, hell of a fight, but no sound. Read into that as you will. So there is a fight that's initiated at the frat party, but it spills over into the King Road house. Those who may have reservations of this scenario or don't think it's plausible are then faced or question, which was and is, why police didn't receive any call until noon, which has always been the sticky wicket here. Why did it take so long?
What is a sticky wicket? I wonder. The Kirkland ring. I will never wear an icon hat. I promise each and every one of you here today. I'm sorry. I've got the AC on. I'm sorry for all you folks that are freezing here. I know it's 20 degrees in Ohio. And we've got a cold front on the way, but you know, Florida. I got a little bead of sweat going right above my tennis hat here. And let's listen a little more.
For law enforcement to be called, you have to contemplate that. Whether you believe Brian Koberger did this crime or not, you have to admit that the delay in calling law enforcement factors in with this fraternity and sorority mentality of enclosure. When there is something that happens, they try and hold it in and deal with it themselves. And did it just get to the point where they had no choice, or was there something else going on in the background? The Moscow Police Department and college officials knew, due to the fight at the party and no arrest made, which was on college property, were well aware of and included the liability issue. So what we're basically saying, we know there was a lot of presence of law enforcement around this area. We've all seen the Banfield footage. There was people running about in the background of the Banfield footage. We've seen it with our own eyes. So were Moscow Police Department aware of this fight? Are they aware? When it was so bad, apparently, that people were being called, parents were being called, and parents were contemplating coming back from Pullman over to Moscow, Idaho. Do you know what I mean? And the only reason they didn't is because Jeff had been drinking. So would it be fair to assume that the Moscow Police Department had already been informed that there was a fight, there was an escalation, there was something happening? And how would that look had it been that indeed had spiraled out of control and led to the death of 4 individuals at 1122 King Road? There is a huge liability issue there for both the University of Idaho and Moscow Police Department. And let's not forget that just a snippet, a segment of what someone said when they entered that house.
We pretty much take it all. Fridges and dishwashers, dressers, drawers, couches, mattresses.
Was apparently, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. Who would even be able to say that? If they're seen by someone, that sounds to me like an EMT. It's an emergency services person, a cop or someone who they're, as soon as they arrive at the scene of something, don't worry, I'm here to help you. So there's these little things. The devil again, the devil in the detail, would lead you to believe that there's a
pretty good observation there. I still don't know what a sticky wicket is. Can anybody help me out on that? That's a good point, Jeff. I have some knife stuff today, I think. I have a video from Miss Post Woke World there, and I want to play that a little later. But let's keep rocking. I have so many, it's crazy. This was supposed to be in the beginning. How you like that? That's why you watch The Purge, because I got stuff like this. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a big story today out of Carroll County. The chief of police there has resigned. Chief Nate Lamar, seen on the right, has stepped down. You are looking at file video of another Delphi police story from 2023. According to the CBS station in Indianapolis, Lamar stepped down last night. The resignation revolves around a 2024 case involving drugs. Documents show that a judge accused Chief Lamar of being dishonest.
You don't say. I love how when it's law enforcement involved, he's just dishonest. He's not a lying son of a bitch that stalked motherfuckers.
During a search of a car, the city of Delphi just released a statement about the resignation. It says, quote, Mayor Cameron Yates announced that Chief Nate Lamar tendered his resignation from the Delphi Police Department Thursday evening. Mayor Yates accepted the resignation and has discussed temporary assignments with the Delphi police officers. The mayor will begin searching for a new chief of police immediately. Mayor Yates will work closely with the officers and the...
I am absolutely sure they'll find some golden candidate for chief of police there, like we had with Sergeant Slaughter here in Clearwater, the lovable Sergeant Slaughter and his secret agent Jay Mowry or whatever the frick his name. Kids, go to bed. I've had it. That's it. All right. Nice to have everybody here today. I'm glad to see everybody again. It's been a while. Hasn't been a nice chat in a while, so I'm glad I'm up here doing this. I wish I could chat with you more. Got some surf in New Jersey. No audio with this, just cartoon barrels there. A-frames, they call them. That's as shore break as you can get. So if you have the balls to get in that cold water and brave that, good on you. I wanted to play that for translucent there. Okay. Former Washington lawmaker Sam Hunt. Look. Joins WSU Board of Regents. Has anybody ever on here ever been asked to do a survey? Or Nielsen rating, or a political poll for CNN? Or been asked to be on a Board of Regents? Because you know why you haven't been asked? I'll tell you why. Because you don't have your own Board of Regents. And that's how you get on a Board of Regents, is by having a board, and they just pat each other's back. And they meet once a year, and they get $200,000 to $2 million for sitting in a chair for 2 hours. So here's the next putz that they put on a regent board out of the legislator, frickin' Pullman. Better finish that, Heather. I want it on my desk by 5 o'clock, Scoop. We'll have Jenn later. Yeah, all right. So Sam Hunt, a longtime member of the Washington Legislature and Washington State University alumni, will be returning to his alma mater to serve as the Board of Regents. Appointed by Governor Jay Inslee, Hunt's team began December 31st. Term began December 31st and runs through September 30th, 2030. No hope of getting any young blood into that regent board. It's going to be what that guy says, and that's all he got today. Love it or leave it. Hunt spent more than 2 decades as a member of the Washington Legislature, with 16 years in the House of Representatives and 8 in the Senate. Until his term ends in January, he represents the 22nd Legislative District in the Senate, which is the center of the South Puget Sound and includes Olympia. Hunt is a former Pasco school teacher and mayor pro tempore. He worked in Washington. He is another one of the problems. All right, here we go. Nope, not happening. Oop, what? Heather, what is this doing in here? Heather! Gosh, I can't. Ever since I let her backstage, it's just been problem after problem.
Listen to this contestant, 40-year-old Tim Bleefnick. His response to Steve Harvey's question quickly became the most unsettling in the show's history.
What's the biggest mistake you made at your wedding?
Said I do.
After this episode aired, things take a disturbing turn as Becky, Tim's wife of 12 years, is found dead in the family home.
Yeah. Yep. Pee Wee Herman was once on the dating
homemade
game. That was
Manjaro
pretty cool.
makes your pants drop in just 1
If
week.
you guys didn't catch that, it's hilarious.
Up brazen.
What did you say?
Broad daylight.
My husband just got robbed in front of $1 Bank downtown.
Crime in Cleveland.
All had semi-guns, semi-automatic guns. Semi-automatic guns, just kept in.
Tonight, the victim speaks out,
Everyone could hear what was going on.
talking for the first time exclusively with News 5 investigators.
Nobody knew.
And wanting answers about the investigation.
So I was like, this must be a joke because ain't none of them doing anything for me.
It's like a scene out of a movie. A man steps out of a bank with a lot of cash, then masked men with guns get away with all that money.
But this is real life, all happening at Cleveland's Public Square. News 5 investigator Jonathan Walsh has been digging into this story for months.
Jonathan, it's been a while since this first went down, right?
Yeah, in fact, it's been a full year. I mean, this happened last January, guys. And you know what? The victim doesn't really understand why. No arrests have been made at this point. We've asked Cleveland police several times in this. Hey, they won't do any interviews with us or let you see the video of what really happened that day. Now, because the victim fears retaliation for stepping forward, we have agreed not to show his face. The local man tells us he was the victim of a recent house fire. So, last January, he went to the Dollar Bank location on Public Square to get his insurance money, $40,000. He says he thought they would give him the cash in a private office, but it was all done out in the open at the counter.
Then he said 21, 22, 23, 24. He was counting like that real loud.
He says that made him nervous, and at that moment, he says he noticed another teller.
I mean, she walked from behind the counter, came all the way over to where I was at, stood behind me, ain't doing nothing, but she stood behind me the whole time while he was counting.
After getting his cash, he started to leave, and he says he glanced over at the employees and the security guard inside the bank.
They just standing there watching me.
As soon as he stepped outside of the bank, he says two masked men with guns jumped out of a silver Nissan SUV.
Give me that money you just got. Give me that money you just got.
He says the robbers had a problem finding the cash in his coat, so a third masked man with a gun got out of the SUV too.
He snatched one bundle, and then he snatched the other, and then he said, we got it all.
How did you feel at that point?
I'm saying to myself, they're not gonna allow me to live, or because it's the amount they are taking and it's broad daylight.
But they just drove off.
We had a customer who just got robbed.
As he waited for the police to get there, he thought about the moment when the robbers found $300 in his pants pocket. However,
they put it back in there. They didn't take that. So right then and there, I knew what was happening.
He says he feels they weren't looking for the smaller amount, but just the big wads of cash. After the robbery, he told cops his theory.
Somebody in the bank told somebody and they set my up when I came outside.
The Dollar Bank location is now closed. We reached out to the company, and in a statement it says in part, it contacted the Cleveland police and it's been fully cooperative during their ongoing investigation. This police report shows Tower City security cameras caught what happened. But after a year, cops have not released the video or screen grabs, photos of the people who did this. And police are not answering a ton of our questions.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's heartbreaking. Not hear anything.
The victim's attorney hopes by his client stepping forward, others will follow.
People might see this and they'll say, hey, I know who did that and I don't like them, so I'm going to go call the police. Could happen. Hopefully it will.
Thank God that I didn't get killed out of it. You know, it could have been ended real bad.
Now, some might question, why take that much cash out of the bank? Well, the man says he's skeptical of electronic transfers, and he just wanted to surprise his wife with that money. And one more thing, guys. I have to point this out. It's right here in the police report. It says, it's important to note that several bank customers came and went during this time, making it appear that the victim was targeted.
They were all untouched. They went after one person.
One person.
Got it.
So,
just, yeah.
Anyway, we really don't care what the newscasters have to say, do we? Excuse me. Yeah, it's another thing that shows you when you have a lawyer and you're a major corporation or a political figure or law enforcement, it gives you the opportunity to say, we are looking into it and we don't see any wrongdoing on our client's behalf. When you're just a regular citizen, you get to spend 2 years in jail or prison for a crime you probably didn't commit. Welcome to America, folks. All right. Welcome to the Purge. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for me to get this information out there to the masses. All right, guys and girls, this is a commercial that I came across. And it comes across as a headline, and it's what's caught my eye at first. And, you know, we like to do the whole how they get you thing. Well, this is a tracking device, and it's readily available now. You can connect right to your phone. It can stick right anywhere you want to put it. All right. And you can get started with this service here and start stalking your ex-girlfriend all you want. And probably nobody's ever going to find it. So, vehicle tracker. Oh, this is the one that plugs into your thing. So if they can get into your car, make sure you don't leave your car keys with somebody you don't trust. So they get there, put in the little thing, and you might not know. Just something interesting I came across there, one thing. And police identify man recovered from water in Tampa. I had the whole article. Where'd it go? Okay. So this was January 6th. And today is what, 7? It's a week. It's a week. This was the second or third body they've recovered out of Tampa Bay in the last month or so. And like I said, he was reporting missing on the 26th. So that gives you 11 days there. Before he was found. And then you have 7 more that it took them to just identify him. No clues as to the murder weapon, or it's probably just going to be called an accident, and they're just going to move on. So anything with the water, put it in the water. And it's an accident. We can't figure out. All of a sudden, police just lose their forensic powers. If it's related to the water, if it's Sebastian Rogers, whatever it is. Forget it. All right. What is this?
Do not buy solar panels if you live in Florida. Americans living in zip codes starting with 32, 33.
I don't know. This has some kind of music here. What is this, Heather? Heather has this... She loves to see me squirm. She likes to see me struggle, Heather does. I don't know. We're probably getting to something here. I'm not sure what it is. Should I play it a little longer? Put a 1 in the chat if you think I should keep this one going. I don't know what it is. Oh, this must be beautiful downtown Italy. Okay. Yeah, we were talking... No, this is Slovenia. So those are the lovely Slovenian residents. They all look like that, apparently, is what's going on in Slovenia. Czechoslovakia. Known for their beautiful women. All right, let's move on. One more minute. Just make sure she doesn't have Easter eggs in this one. There's Slovenia. That's where all the firing squads go. I don't know what this is. Heather, I'm gonna have to have a talk with her off camera. All right, here's another fun one. It's not related, but it is I'm upset. I want it on my desk. Florida judge backs state's rejection of medical marijuana dispensaries. The Florida judge has upheld the state's regulators' decision to block Green Thumb Industries from opening medical marijuana distributors next to Circle K convenience stores. GTI, the operator of Rise dispensaries across Florida, announced a partnership with Circle K to launch 10 dispensaries adjacent to Circle K stores and a pilot program scheduled for early 2023. However, the Florida Department of Health's Office of Medical Marijuana denied multiple location requests, citing legal and safety concerns. So it's interesting because the state started this lottery and this whole scramble to get these dispensaries going, and people came up with convenient, time-saving ideas, and they've given nothing but trouble. They won't legalize it recreationally because then they can't make any money off of the licenses and off of the dispensaries. Will be, forget it. We won't need them anymore. So it won't be taxed. So they started this whole initiative. You know what I'm saying? All right. Anyway, yeah. Right here, another one from Larghetto, Florida. Another stabbing. Sorry, it's not a pedestrian hit and run or anything like that. But Largo police arrest suspect in fatal stabbing. And we all know that a stabbing is personal, right? So there's your guy. Largo, Florida. Largo police have arrested a suspect. Officers responded to reports of his stabbing near the intersection of 11th and 7th around 1 p.m. Upon arrival, they found a female victim suffering from stab wounds and immediately began life-saving measures. The victim was transported to a local hospital but tragically succumbed to her injuries. During the investigation, Largo police identified 38-year-old Cyrus Jenkins as a person of interest. Jenkins was known to the victim. Personal. Through investigative efforts, detectives located Jenkins and took him into custody without incident. He's been charged with first degree, and that'll be interesting to see why.
Myers left to go duck hunting near Sprague Lake. That's about 45 minutes south of Spokane on Saturday morning. They were expected to return later that evening, but they did not come home. That prompted a ground, air, and water search involving the Adams and Lincoln County Sheriff's offices, as well as Spokane Search and Rescue. Both men were found dead late Saturday night. The cause of death remains unclear. 2 men were found dead at Sprague Lake on Saturday night. This is according to the...
Is it Sprague Lake or Sprague Lake? I don't know. I saw another article that one of these guys was famous. I don't know who it. I don't know if they're related. They might have been 2 different things. So I'm not even gonna go there. Here, this is from Jenn at Criminal Confidential, my co-star. Check it out. So what happened in the kitchen, and why do they need to move stuff around in there? No crime occurred in the kitchen, so what are they doing? That's a good question. I think I've played this before, but definitely want to stay here. Check out this bed. You know, if the tide comes in, I don't know what you're going to do. But that certainly looks like a nice place to take a little break. All right. So this had mixed reviews and responses. This feels icky. The Made with Kindness Foundation, started by Ashlyn Couch and her mom, dedicated 2 benches in Coeur d'Alene, but only honored 3 of the 4 victims. One bench is for Kaylee and Maddie, and the other one for Santa. Would it have been that difficult to add Ethan's name too? This is really disrespectful in my opinion, and bothers me. And there she tags some people. So I wanted to read. The Gonzaleses have replied before on their page that the Chapins want to remember Ethan in their own way. Says enough. And I think that says a lot. You can take from that what you want. Yeah. Anyway. This is hilarious.
Сядь. Нормально? Нет, неудобно. Чемоданчик там. Слав, надо палочку.
The way he's just sitting there. He claps his hands.
Еще, да? Сиди. Ну-ка, а ты удержишь? Держи. Не-не-не, держи. Аккуратно свалится.
I was trying to find the emoji for a lobster here. There it is. I skipped over. It's right around here somewhere. My buddy Rochford, who is part of the show now, is also from Bangor, Maine. And he says his grandmother used to go down to the wharf and she would say, "Give me a pound and a quarter lobster. Nothing over. Anything over, it's not as sweet." So, welcome in, Esther. Nice to have you with us today. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Can you guys hear me okay with the AC? It's keeping it nice and cool in here. Sorry about your luck. It's been cold. It got down to the 30s here the other day. So if any of you feel sorry for me, Black Hawk 57 Magnum. Yeah, I have seen Khaled. What is this? Wait, it gives out pink letters. Do I get a pink letter today there? I think I have a pink letter somewhere. I don't know what that means. It's like one of those upside down pineapple things. FBI searching for operator of privately owned drone that punched a hole in a Canadian firefighting plane. And thank you, Canada, for sending some firefighters down to put out the fires there in LA.
So last Thursday, Canadian Air Super Scooper aircraft was conducting fire suppression efforts over the Palisades fire. During those efforts, it collided with a personally owned or privately owned drone, leaving a 3 by 6 inch hole in the aircraft. When that happens, all aircraft in the area have to evacuate the area, and we're no longer able to use that technique. On a fire like this, like the Palisades fire or the Eaton fire, those type of aircraft are our most effective means to suppress those fires and keep them contained.
All right, I don't know what's up with the audio on that one. Sorry about that. But if you're surprised by that, it looks like if you look at the, darn it, hold on, let me play this some more. If you look at, where is it? Oh, was it on the thumbnail? If you look at the firefighting plane anyway, it has like paper thin wings. It's just got some type of chemical coating over the wings, plastic kind of thing, whatever. And these drones now, if you haven't seen these ones that the little Police Explorer guys are using there to take a break from masturbating, they go like 1,000,000 miles an hour. I mean, they're like, meow, 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 pew, 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 kids go to bed. And they move so fast, and they're indestructible, literally, for the most part. So it sounds like they were trying to crash the plane. Unless it was just an accident, a happy accident, right? Los Angeles fire, salt water used to combat flames comes with immediate benefits and long-term risks. So this was a point of conjecture, I guess you will. Hi, Shy Flower, how are you? Yeah, it's 76 here, so I'll turn off the AC in a second here. It's cooling down now and everything's all right. But yeah, best place to be in winter here right now for sure. Los Angeles firefighters are now scooping up, and I think this plays it right here, the water. And Miss Potts kept asking, why aren't they just sending planes out there and grabbing that water? Well, it's resorted to that, and here's some video of it proving it, that they're scooping up the water. And I saw a couple more articles on it. And apparently, whatever equipment is involved and the effect it has on the properties, I guess, that they're saving is a higher risk than using the fresh water. So I just thought that was something neat. If you guys were following along on that, I wanted to play that for you. Okay, here we go on.
He's real. It looks like you're just rubbing a statue.
Oh, he's loving this. If he could purr, he'd purr.
See there?
Right? Good boy. Yeah. I'll see you, buddy. You be good while I'm
Go
gone.
ahead and give him a kiss.
You don't need anybody.
Real quick.
No.
He's real. It looks like you're just rubbing a statue.
Oh, he's loving this. If he could purr.
I gotta be honest with you. That guy's like, thanks for the rub. That guy one bite. He's like, no, I'm gonna pass on the kiss there. He's a reptilian. Oh man. I don't know what this is. Probably Heather again. Yep. One of those things today. A lot of boobs today, Heather. Thanks. You like that? Alright. Fun in the sun there. Alright. This is pretty funny. It says, I played the harsh thing. I figured I'd get to this.
But a zinger I had no comeback for. He said, "You Brits, you're just sore about what happened in 1776. And I said, the invention of the spinning jenny? Oh, I'm so mad about that. It's too spinny. Of course, he was actually referring, as I'm sure you're aware, to the American Revolutionary kerfuffle. And what I will say is, if there are any Americans watching, the thing you have to understand about Britain is we've got a lot of ex-colonies. We've got a lot of ex-colonies, and we know zero information about all of them.
We're just not that special. All right. Squat Metalhead. We got a Brit in the house. All right. Good to see you, mate. All right. Have a point. Right on. All right. So I got Scott. All right. And let's keep moving on, my friends. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Very special episode of The Purge. We're going to do some talking here in a minute. Let me see what this is. Heather. What on earth? I'm not sure. I can't stop it from playing. I don't know why. Now, I spent a year, believe it or not, doing pull-ups. And I could do about 16, 17 pull-ups. And this is a good way, that's a good way to decompress your back. Right here. If you want to do, and you get the thing, and you put it in the door jamb, and it works really well. They can support my weight, so, and it really was good. I got cut up on the titty part of my chest there, and it was nice. So this is one way to do it, you guys. If you want to try that at home, go ahead. All right, I recommend it. So this is again from Jenn at Criminal Confidential, my co-star, and this is what she's been seeing around the way. This one's crazy. It's bonkers.
What the fuck is that? What is that? What the fuck is that?
So yeah, I don't know if that's the mothership or just another drone, like I've been seeing for the last 10 years. Like I've been telling you guys about. They send them in before they do search warrants. That's about the only time that they'll fly them during the day, because the birds tend to try to eat them, and then they don't want you to know they're there. So that's law enforcement for you. There you go. Everything is secret.
One, two, three, screw it. Either do it or don't.
Oh, I mean, that's just so close. I don't think I'd ever have the guts to do that one. Not with my skateboarding skills, that's for damn sure. Alright, let's keep moving on. Why not? And this is a photographer, a surf photographer in, I think it's Pipe. And they certainly have a feel. Look how thick that lip is. To get sucked over the falls right there, but you see how he just kind of gently eases into it. And to get some of the pictures that they get, they really have to last minute get into the back of that wave. So you figure if you're a floating head, you're okay. But if you've got a body attached to you like these guys, you'd be in trouble. Alright, let's see what else. Okay, I don't know what happened here.
Babe, I lost all my money.
How much?
10,000.
We'll go get it back.
I know that hurts a lot.
Okay, do you know George?
Who the fuck is George? I thought he was about to do a trick with it.
I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Yeah! Yeah! Pick some of these! Pick some almost there! And
Yay!
They mocked him as this gun.
There goes $1,000. This guy's about to get the whooping of his life. What an idiot. Who cut his hair like that? Damn.
Babe, I lost all my money.
Anyway, yeah, we all want that girlfriend that's the sugar mama like that, right? Whoa. I'll watch that again in a second. I guess it was really high tide doubling up that day. When you get the backwash from a shore break, the first wave will break and then it'll come back with the same energy and hit the next wave in the set, and it'll double up. They call it a double up bounce like that. And it's real through. These guys seem to have mastered it. He's got to be 20 feet off the ground, I'd say. That's pretty intense. That's a pretty intense rush there, right there. Woof. Good times. All right. I don't know where that was. Sorry. Anyway.
Are you lying?
I'm not lying. I'm being honest.
Have you eaten anything good in LA?
Well, I like Chick-fil-A.
Comes to California, goes to Chick-fil-A.
Are you gonna crack my head now?
Not
My
yet.
neck.
Pretty soon though.
Oh my god! What did you do?
Good.
Am I still alive?
You trust me?
I do.
See, there it is.
Double meaning.
There it is. So we're gonna go right there. Does this feel good?
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
If you haven't tried that, they call it the ring dinger yet. My girlfriend snuck that one in on me a while back, and she wrapped a towel around my head and pulled, and it only did like the top. She wasn't real good at it yet, and but I want to go to Houston and see that doctor. What is it, Dr. James, and get the full top to bottom ring dinger. It's just, I think it's more of a psychological thing, maybe a ASMR, whatever they call it, just to get that release and decompress. And a lot of people say they feel taller, and I think I've heard where people actually are like a few centimeters taller when you have that done, because you tend to smush down as time goes by. Heather, is this a rope swing in Florida? This definitely doesn't look... Oh, it's Costa Rica. Okay, a lot of people go down there to surf. So this is probably just a surf video that she sent me. Let's see what's going on here. I don't know. Looks like a lot of fun. It's a beautiful spot. Look at all those trees and stuff. Last one. Is she gonna make it? I don't know. Kane's falling in the water. Help me, I'm drowning. Help. Tonka truck's in the house. Likely story, Heather. Okay, alright. She made it okay, guys. Everything's fine there. So we'll move on to the next one. This one's great. I love this one.
Yeah. What is that?
I think those are carabiners.
Wait, yeah, there's carabiners?
I feel so weird. Should we go? I feel so like, should we?
No, we gotta see this through now.
I mean, are you gonna try this? What else has he got? What? Their vest?
Yeah, he's got. Okay.
He's putting it on. He's putting it on backwards.
I don't know, but.
Okay. What? Oh, yeah. Does he have enough? I guess he could like double up on some.
Scooter.
I don't know, but now I gotta know. This guy's genius.
Engineer instructions, excuse me. Those people with their mouth full. Rowie! Row is in the house. Meow row. Let's get another one, guys.
We got a star here.
Yay!
She has pain, left shoulder blade, okay? Here we go. So just kind of relax your chest for me.
Whoa. What?
There. One more. Good. Damn, that was crunchy.
Ooh.
She cracks her neck way too much. Actually, not really. It's okay. 3 or 4 times a day, right?
Those are the scapula.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wow.
Those are the scapular cracks back there, that one.
Shoulder.
Who knows that? That's your shoulder blade.
What?
Listen to that.
One more. Good.
Can you believe that?
Damn.
So what happens, you're going to see a video probably later if you hang around, where he shows like a spine, like an actual spine bone over her spine. And what happens is the spine gets twisted. And so what they'll do is they put the fist on the side that you want to push back. And then you put the flat part of your hand on the other side, and it's like a fulcrum. It just cracks back in place. If you believe in that sort of thing. I don't know what this is.
We'll do some weird things without because we can wear like a white. Whatever you think too.
They're exchanging clothes or some type of modeling shoot. What is this, Heather?
You ready?
I'm not sure. Better check it out. This looks like California.
Did you wear it like this? Yeah, I just wore like no, I wore
Marley and Alexa. If you have an Alexa, take it outside right now and hit it with a sledgehammer. Do that.
Cool.
Okay.
Not this Alexa, though.
You're just, so you're walking.
They're just
and
walking.
I'm following you back. And they kind of look at the ocean a little bit, smile.
Beautiful
kind of laugh at
coastline.
each other,
Very nice.
with each other.
All right, very special Purge tonight. For you, we got a lot. Let's get down to it. So, I played this one in another video. All right, and this is from Jenn at Criminal Confidential once again, and let's listen in. I don't know where the audio went. Oh, sorry about that. Let's try that again. My bad. The audio is kind of important on this one. So.
How far are we on that? You said it was a pestle, right? Okay. How far is that trouble? How far are we on that? You said it was a pestle, right? Okay. How far is that trouble? How far are we on that? You said it was a pestle, right? Okay. How far is that trouble?
Bonkers, right? Makes you think. We haven't heard in all his little I had no idea what's going on Joe Vito speeches there anything about potato, what it was the password for, and why on that particular night they needed to share that. It would be interesting to see what that's all about. Let me see, I got text here. 9 o'clock. What time are we on? 8:50. That's fine, Jen. No problem. We have Jen about 9 o'clock. Looks like it'll be another 2.5 hour, 3 hour purge. That's what we do. That's how we roll here. We can't get it done in any less time because there's obviously way too much to see today. And I want to take a look back here. Let's see what happens here.
Healthy relationships. I'm not Taylor Swift, so I don't come up with songs, but I come up with quotes and shit.
You're not Taylor Swift?
I'm pretty nervous about this.
I thought she was Taylor Swift. That's weird. I'm surprised that she's not.
I have 2 over there. They're both named Ralph.
One is a stuntman.
No, I accidentally just got him a friend.
Apparently there's a lot.
There's a lot.
Oh my god.
That was nice.
I know all you guys want to go out to see a chiropractor.
Right there, already.
Here it comes. Oh, yeah.
Nice. High five.
You know when the chiropractor is stoked about it. Now, I think they feature women in these videos a lot more than guys because of the simple fact that they crack better. Guys' backs are literally like peanut brittle. And they sound like two blocks breaking or something. Two wooden blocks breaking.
Upper back, shoulder blades, okay? Just try to relax the chest.
That was fire.
This side joint, dropping right down on it.
Oh. That was the sacrum right there, for sure.
C1.
Check this out.
Right. Good job. C5 on the left. Gotta bring it all the way. Good.
This is another thing that can help your hip, and you can do it yourself. It's much akin to popping your finger this way, which I guess is the healthy way to do it. If you do the thing like I do, you twist your fingers, you're going to have weird, wild, wacky, bent fingers. See how they're weird and wacky? But you can do it if you have a table that's safe to lay on. Make sure you have a table. And then you take the person's foot and you kind of just find that right spot and you just pull it out. And it'll help you with your femur to hip connection there. A lot of people suffer from hip dysplasia and stuff like that. So don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's no information here. All right, let's get on to window 2 here right after this one. This is the one I was promising you where they give you an idea of how this works. Check this out.
Right here. Okay, a little demo here. Right here, she has a spot that's a little rotated like that. So I'm going to come here like that, and another hand here, and then boom. Try to rotate it the other way. Just like I said, right here, it's a little rotated. So here, this one's a little to the right. We're going to hook on. There. This one's there.
Okay. That one you got.
Nice. Okay, a little demo here.
Can you imagine the relief that she felt after getting that aligned again? So that when they talk about alignment, that's literally how they use x-rays at the doctor, but they can tell, if they're experienced, they don't need the x-ray. They can just tell by running their hand down your spine if you've got it. Like with me and a lot of guys, it's in the middle of your back. And a lot of times if you lay back on the couch and you got a pillow there or something along these lines, you'll feel it crack and back into place. So turn your eyes away. All right, that's window 1, guys. We made it through. As you'll see, there's more to come. We're going to do Jenn at Criminal Confidential tonight. We're going to get into a big Idaho 4 discussion on her latest findings. Heather's working on a new video, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let me get to my second window now, please, which I closed stupidly. That's Monday too. That's what we want. And let me pull this up for you guys after I close that. Hold on. Thanks for bearing with me here. Thanks for being here tonight. If you're new to the Purge, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like. And do all the things. Share the video with all your friends. And let them know you care. I appreciate it. Alright, let's see. This is window 2 now. Make sure we got that. Okay, got it. Save and discard. Excellent. Here we go.
Wait a second. Explain to us what you're talking.
I refunded someone yesterday because I didn't want to rate their pic.
Wait a second. Explain to us what you're talking about.
Well, I got a message on Instagram, and they were like, oh, I'll give you $50 if you rape me, and I didn't know that it meant his penis, so... First he paid me, and then he sent me a picture of his penis, and so I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, so then I returned the $50.
But you did see the picture. Just out of curiosity, what would you have rated it? On a 1 to 100, let's do. Let's do it.
How it affected me.
You know what? You know what?
101.
Oh, all right. That was supposed to be at the end of the show. Somehow I wound up at the beginning. We'll go backwards. This is that show with Shane Gillis. If you guys haven't caught it yet, this is it.
I've been having a hard time dating. Well, at least getting laid's a little bit easier, you know. Yeah, I've been trying some pickup lines when I go out. I've been trying some pickup lines. So far, the one that's got me the most action has been no.
Yeah, that tends to work. It's a law of attraction, right? Alright, you want what you can't have. Let's skip ahead to the beginning and see what we have here. This is great, and I know if there's any ladies in the audience tonight, you're going to love this. I don't think this guy saw this coming.
I've always wondered why the llama...
Hola.
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 You can see me? You can see me? I've always wondered why the llama...
I don't know if I wanted to run into that chick or not. You can see me? You can see me? Is that right? So these have grown in popularity, I guess, and I think Rochelle sent me this in, or Rochford, and I wonder how long it'll last. These are not good. I mean, the cats clearly love them, but it can be it can be dangerous for the cats. Oh my gosh! Somehow I got loud again. Sorry about that. Oh gosh. Oh, meow. That cat will be in shape in no time. Oh, gosh, here it comes. I didn't know they had him where you could roll through the house. Oh, my gosh. That is hilarious. Thank you for that, whoever you are. I think it was Rochford. I'm not sure. Might have been Rochelle. Alright. Here's another one sent to me by Heather. I'm not sure what this is about exactly. Something to do with the backflip. Let's watch that again, just make sure I got the right video. I might have scrolled through on this one.
Guys, this water's amazing. I gotta do a backflip into it. Ready? Oh, wow, since I've done that.
Wow, that's a great backflip. Alright. Welcome in, everybody. Alright, here we go. Next mid-show now. We're almost to the halfway point. And I appreciate everybody here. We're going to get some Idaho 4 discussion here in just a second. I got my game show voice go on. My newscaster. Oh, you're supposed to hear the sound here. Dirt.
They gotta pick up that sound. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's the second time I've seen a video. And I guess in these towns, like the one where the Eclipse was allegedly filmed, or the Twilight series, Forks, is that Forks, Washington? This is commonplace. They're very familiar with the Sasquatch on the edge of town. I don't think you go into the woods after dusk. Whatever, I wouldn't. That's for sure. I love you, Sasquatch. Okay, so here's another one. I thought this was interesting. because you don't usually see this rolly tool used. I don't know if he's a quack or if he's onto something. The cracks don't sound as good, but check it out.
Alright, ready? Now relax this side here a little bit.
Or maybe, just maybe, he's got it with pinpoint precision. So that tool demonstrates, if you ever want to do crack anybody's back, don't put your hand on their spine, directly on their spine. Just since I'm a doctor, listen to me. You go on the side of the spine, so it's like this. It's like you're handcuffed, but you don't touch the spine. It's the muscly tissue around the spine that you put pressure on, and be aware of how much pressure, if it's a smaller person or bigger person. Now, you can still, like, if you got some big jacked day, typically unique, very nice to see you, Shy Flower, what's up? You can still crack. You have to have them on a flatbed, ideally with their face in that netting hole or whatever. We found ways to do it, though, on a couch. Like, you position the middle of your spine or the middle of your stomach over the edge of the couch, and then that provides enough leverage, and you can just kind of turn your head and somebody can crack your back. If you want to try that, whatever. You're better off just doing the hangy thing from the bar. Anyway, so let's keep going.
Subscribe. Hi, boys, ladies, gents, children, girls.
Subscribe. 10 out of 10. Okay, this is super intense. I probably would never leave the house in this.
I straight up wore that at the beach.
Nicole's a little more intense than me, so.
I have literally worn that at the beach.
I look a little, I don't know if I would get a bigger size, because this is not my size, but I think it looks pretty good. I do be liking it.
So yeah, that's a good fit, it seems like. I don't know. I'm not a judge.
Round one, I want a fair fade. Damn, they coming in hot. Okay, time out. No racial slurs this time. Okay, round two. Round one, I want a fair fade.
That's one thing you don't see a lot of times at these videos of pipe, is the crowd on the beach. People go there just to watch the surfing, and the entertainment that the surfers get is watching the Japanese tourists drown. They love that. Okay, anyway.
I'm just going to play around with the angles right now. Let me know when you can feel it all the way down to your low back, okay?
No.
Good. Relax your tailbone.
That's by far the loudest ring dinger I've ever heard. They call that one the Y strap, and you can get it at a chiropractor near you. This isn't a chiropractor show. There was a lot of them on my feet, and they were all good, so I wanted to share with you guys. I'm not trying to distract from anything here.
What's your name? It's Kylie? Okay. Do you think your parents wanted a girl? They did want a girl? I have 6 brothers. Oh, okay. Let me go through the names. Shannon. Your whole life, have you ever met a man with your name? Maybe at like a drag show or something like that? Have you ever? What's your name? What a crazy name, eh, Kylie? The wife? What's your name? Kylie. What a macho name. That's, you work in the oil fields, Kylie? That's crazy. What's your name? It's Kylie. It's Kylie?
What are the odds of that, right? All right, we'll keep moving on. Sorry about that. And let's see here. Got a lot more to go. Twiz is watching. Alright, let's see here. This is one of the earliest posts on X, the day of Koberger's arrest. This is from Heather. And these are the people she tagged, I believe. That pesky 5889 number that FF Garrett says is Brian's. The link for anyone wanting to check it out is here. And we can see the picture there. And I wanted to read some of the comments there. Yeah, Viviana, there's only one of the two profiles on the directory. He had a work entry and a student entry. Two different databases. His student entry had the 5889 number. The university also removed his work entry within a few days, but his student profile entry stayed on the student database and the March 2023. It's as if staff forgot he was listed in both directories. So I thought that was... She does her looking into stuff and comes up with her own wackadoo conclusions. Well, yeah, they're wackadoo. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Boo, 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 boo. We love trains and giant cats here on the Purge, so cat ain't moving for nothing. He's like, I'm laying on this track. What is this guy with this giant track in his yard? I want to go over there and hang out. It looks really fun. All right, keep going. Almost there, you guys. I'm not sure what this is. Another donut, I guess. She likes donuts. She likes water parks. We let her do it. Yeah, you can't pause it on the butt, apparently. Okay, so what else we got here today? Alright, there's a blank screen. Let's see what's going on out there in YouTube land. Anybody live? Anybody else live trying to bring the Purge down? I don't see any contenders out there. Okay, who can we check in on? Should we troll somebody? It's too bad. We have our own little time slot here, and if you're enjoying the Purge, I'm Kane B. We do this every other couple days, around 7-11 now, and I hope you join us again. Please hit like and subscribe, and do all the things. Thank you. I don't know, this cat finally got it. Those orange cats are really coming up a lot lately. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, there's my analytics. And alright, we're skipping right through. We're really rolling through right there. I want to get to the conversation about the documents and stuff here in a second. Quit fooling around. This is Reese Witherspoon. Look-alike. Of course it had that satisfying end. I wouldn't do that to you guys. There we go. Alright, next one.
My boy out here hustling. He's selling.
Look at this guy selling balloons on the beach.
He's selling them balloons on Earth, and he's trying to sell them in heaven. How far are them things going up? My boy out here hustling. He's selling the. He's
I
selling
wonder
the
how many
balloons
he
on
actually
Earth,
sold.
and he's trying to
Like,
sell
look,
them in heaven.
man, I'll
How
give you
far
50
them things going
cents.
up?
You ain't
My
gonna
boy
get rid of
out
all
here
those
hustling.
balloons. All right, let's keep going.
You know that feeling when you feel like you're in danger because someone is following you, but then you remember you're the danger. You know that feeling when you...
All right, I got that girl in here twice. Let's take another look.
You have red hair and
Yes, I do. I do. Guess what they used to call me in high school?
cinnamon muff.
No, they didn't call me Cinnamon Muff.
What do they call you? Firecrotch.
No, Strawberry Shortcake, small child's doll.
You have red hair.
Cinnamon muff. My mom sat next to Amy Adams' grandparents on a flight one time, and they talked the whole flight about how wonderful her career was going. And so I think it was before she did the Superman and all that. She'd done a lot of stuff, but anyway.
I tried to fight Rogan last week.
Really?
Whoops.
Oh,
yeah,
that picture wasn't photoshopped? The what's it
No,
called?
he ripped my shoulder off.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and I was hammered, so I was like, you can't tap me, dude. Jiu-jitsu's gay. I kept fucking with him. He tapped me like 8 times, dude. He kept going.
That easy.
Yeah.
Well, he also does the kickboxing The shit kick too. is crazy.
Oh, if he kicked,
It's over.
he'd
Yeah.
shatter a leg.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Wow.
But I was drunk enough.
that
He'd get me in like a triangle choke or something, and I'd be like, this is nothing, fucking pussy. I was like, I'm never gonna fucking tap.
Shane Gill is pretty funny. Okay, here we go. Next one. Get into it.
Right there. So let's tilt your head this way for me. Now relax that for me.
Oh my god. Wow. I needed that.
Good.
That felt so good.
Nice. Let's get the other side.
Oh my
There's
God.
more.
Oh. Oh, wow. I just felt like 10 years came out of me.
Relax your shoulder back. I got you. You're not going to fall. Perfect. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Relax your shoulder back. Very good. Now I'm going to stretch your neck out and then I'm going to adjust it.
Okay.
Okay? So, there, perfect. There it goes.
Oh.
So gentle, but it really decompresses your spine. Here's the leg thing. And one more demonstration.
There it
Just a little
goes.
tug. Lift it up about eye level there and pop it out. Okay, so thanks for asking, Meg P. I've forgotten about that. And I got a pretty big schnoz to begin with here already. But the other day I did drop the piano bench, the metal part, at about boom. So you can see the bridge of my nose is now swollen over here. Maybe I'll get a chiropractor to crack it back into place for me. But yeah, Meg P was doing something on the floor and held her phone above her head, and her iPhone dropped her phone and broke her nose. There's Jen. Jen, yay! All right, maybe we get an early Jen here today. Who knows? All right, let's see here. That is so awesome that they pass those out at the show. I can literally watch that thing go down all day. I don't know. That's got to be... Don't you think that's fake? That's fake, right? Check it out. It's somebody pulling it. I've never seen a cobra move that fast. I know they can probably move that fast, but come on. And she catches it? That's amazing. So fake. Yeah. That would be crazy if it was real. I wouldn't throw it back, man. I'd choke that thing out. This was Twiz and Brian on the carousel. She's got a great swing, this one. And then there goes the phone. Almost. Nope. Aww. The dog takes your top off. Oops. That's why I don't live underground. It wouldn't work out. There's the Squid Games that everybody's talking about now. And it's come out that possibly...
I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to be a homemaker and a wife. I would love to be able to live on a homestead and go milk my cow and take the eggs out of the chicken coop and have one baby in the belly and on my hip and another toddler coming behind me. That's like my dream, but I can't fucking do that because the way the economy is set up is I'm forced to work. I'm forced to get an education, a higher education, a college degree in order to make enough money that I can be financially independent and afford my own home or my own rent or my own gas or my own groceries, my own insurance, and it's extremely difficult to do that, and it's very isolating as a woman when you have to do all of that all on your own, and you can't find somebody that you can outsource some of those chores and financial responsibilities like you would with a spouse. So no, being a single working woman absolutely sucks. It's the worst thing ever. I hate it. I would go back to the 1950s in a second just so I wouldn't have to deal with this shit. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. I would love to be a homemaker.
All right, Too Fast or Please. Thank you for the membership gifted to Jen there. Too fast. How's me? Too fast, so please. Too fast, please. But the ticks will get them. All right. Thank you, Too Fast. I appreciate that, man. And congratulations, Jen. Welcome to the real weird people of the Misfit tribe there from Dinky's chat. All right, everybody's here. Welcome in. Too Fast and Jen. Jen, you can call in anytime you like. We'll get the discussion started and talk about some of the
Are you
stuff
girls single
dropped.
or got boyfriends?
I'm single.
Single? How about you? Single or a boyfriend?
I have a boyfriend.
Are you guys like friends?
We besties.
So listen, since you're besties, you must have been
Busted. Well, you gotta be. Guys are dumb. I have another video that I'm not gonna get to. I don't think, but we'll
This
talk
is the
about
most.
this girl has certainly done well for herself, and I'm proud of her. I've been watching her show for a long time. Check this out.
Bizarre story, but Katy Perry in particular has a history of getting into real estate battles with elderly people on their deathbed and attempting to force them out of their homes so that she can purchase them. She and her husband, Orlando Bloom, bought a beautiful $15 million property in Santa Barbara back in 2020, and they bought it from an elderly veteran. Now, apparently, when he sold the house, when he agreed to sell it, he was a week out from surgery and was on pain meds. So soon after he signed the paperwork and realized that he had sold his home, he claimed that because he was on pain meds, the sale should be null and void, and he actually did not want to sell the house at all. Now, she is saying that no, the sale is final. We bought the house, so she is now countersuing him. Now a lawsuit is going on. They're each suing each other. The vet, Carl Westcott, is so old. He's 84 years old, and he is so ill that people are worried that he is going to pass away before the legal battle ends. And guys, that has also happened to Katy Perry. Quote, Katy Perry, please stop, begged a nun. And then she collapsed and died. Begging Katy Perry to stop suing her, and she collapsed and died. This is the most bizarre story.
I wonder how Katy Perry, what her side of that story is. I don't think her intention was for anybody to pass away because of a real estate deal, I'm sure of it. But that sure is a crazy angle, right? I don't know. When the cock crows. Alright, here we go. A lot of wildlife here tonight on the Purge. We're getting there. Once again, getting a nice pipe at pipe. And like I said, if you go right, that's back door. If you go left, that's pipe. If you ever make it down to Sunset Beach, you can check it out for yourself. No, probably have to skip this one. You got music going on this here. Alright, it's enough back cracking anyway. I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV.
What's up?
Where's your grandchildren?
My grandchildren? They're all frickin' banging your sister. Out of the way, kid. Posers.
They're all banging your sister. Love it.
Are you girls single or got boyfriends?
I'm single.
You guys working late. Here's this girl again. She keeps popping up on me. So I thought I'd run it.
I've been having a hard time dating. Well, at least getting laid's a little bit easier, you know. Yeah, I've been trying some pickup lines when I go out. I've been trying some pickup lines. So far, the one that's got me the most action has been no.
I guess I played that one already. I just not like that. All right, we reached the end of the feed there. Let's look at something I wanted to talk about tonight. And I'm going to take the glasses off. It's time to get real, folks. And what is going on with this firing squad thing? Okay, so here is how it's carried out. Death penalty by firing squad. How is it carried out? And I'm going to blow this up a little bit here before I get rid of this here. And then blow it up so I can read it. Can you see that okay, guys? And let's scroll down. Okay, a method of carrying out the death penalty that began in Utah's pioneer days, death by firing squad, was finally banned in 2004, and the state switched to lethal injection. But because the ban is not retroactive, prisoners who choose this form of death prior to the ruling are still entitled to it. Gardner requested that he be killed by our firing squad at his sentencing hearing in '85, simply telling the judge, "I would like a firing squad, please." His execution was carried out the morning of June 18th. Using a .30 caliber Winchester rifle, the 5 men simultaneously took aim and fired at a white target on Gardner's chest, directly over his heart. Gardner, who wore a hood over his head and was strapped to a chair, was instantly shot through the heart. Sandbags were stacked behind and around Gardner's chair in order to prevent bullets from ricocheting. The 5 executioner certified police officers, who remained anonymous, stood about 25 feet away and shot from behind a black curtain and through a brick wall cut with a gun port or a special opening for the firearms. Of the 5 guns, one was loaded with a blank so that no one would be able to determine who fired the fatal shot. Isn't that interesting? The controversial matter of capital punishment has rarely been carried out in the United States since the reinstatement of the death penalty in '76, after which there have been 3 instances of death by firing squad, all of which took place in Utah, the only state that continued to offer death by firing squad as an option to some prisoners on death row. After choosing the firing squad in '85, Gardner later changed his mind in 1990, telling a judge that he preferred to die by lethal injection. He told news sources he made the change for the sake of his children, who didn't understand his firing squad decision. But in '96, he changed his mind again and threatened to sue the legal system if he was not allowed to select his original choice of facing the firing squad, an option he claimed to have always favored according to news sources. "I guess it's my Mormon heritage," Gardner told Salt Lake City newspaper Desert News in '96. "I like the firing squad. It's so much easier and there are no mistakes." We'll get to that. The change was allowed, but Gardner continued to delay the capital punishment through numerous appeals, and 25 years passed between the time of his initial sentencing and his execution. The last inmate to be executed by firing squad was John Albert Taylor in 96. Currently, the U.S. states that still carry out capital punishment favor lethal injection as a more humane alternative to older forms of execution, mainly the electric chair and the gas chamber. And alright, let's go to one more thing that I saw, and I can't type today. This is the first one. So I didn't have I looked at them, but I didn't have them ready for you, and I apologize for that. Okay, so let's see. I don't know if I can play that. Let's show you the picture of the guy. So here's all the different firing squads through the ages, I guess. And we'll find the guy I'm looking for, I'm sure, in a second here. There he is. So this is let's view the page here. You can see the picture there. The human body is an odd thing, an incredibly fragile, yet at the same time surprisingly resilient. On the one hand, even the most seemingly minor injuries can result in an untimely death. For example, in 1911, Jack Daniel, founder of the famous Tennessee distillery, entered his office and attempted to open a safe, but the lock proved troublesome, and after trying and failing several times to open the door, Daniel lost his temper and kicked the safe, breaking his toe in the process. Infection soon set in, and Daniel died within days. On the other hand, however, many individuals throughout history have demonstrated the ability to absorb punishment that would kill the average person and still keep breathing. Perhaps the most famous such case was that of the early 20th century Russian mystic Grigory Rasputin, who, according to legend, survived being poisoned, beaten, shot, and dumped in a frozen river before finally shuffling off his mortal coil. But even the mad monk has nothing on a humble soldier in the Mexican Revolution, who, in an astronomical stroke of luck, stared down a firing squad and lived to tell the tale. This is the incredible story of Wenceslao Miguel Herrera. The Mexican Revolution was not... It is during this bloody stage of the revolution that the story of El Fusilado takes place. In early 1955, 25-year-old Moe Herrera, a native of Yucatan province, was serving with a group of irregulars under Pancho Villa. Inexperienced and poorly armed, on March 18th, Moguel's unit was easily defeated and captured by Federales forces outside of the town. And I've told you about my experience with Federales if you were here in one of those late-night purges. As was common practice, the commander of the Federales, Colonel Ortiz, immediately ordered the Vista troops shot. A firing squad of 8 men was assembled, and Mogul and his comrades were lined up against the wall of a church, blindfolded, given one last cigarette, and executed with a volley of rifle fire. While most of his comrades died instantly, miraculously Mogul survived the first volley with 8 bullets, managing to miss his vital organs. But his ordeal wasn't over yet, for Colonel Ortiz then stood up to the pile of crumpled bodies to administer the coup de grace. Excuse me. I gotta get a drink here. Finding Mogul still breathing, Ortiz pressed his revolver against the prisoner's head and pulled the trigger. While such a point-blank shot would have killed most people, as you would have guessed, Wenceslao Mogul Herrera was not most people. By another extraordinary stroke of luck, the bullet entered Mogul's right cheek and exited just under his left eye, missing his brain entirely. Shocked to find himself alive and realizing that next time he wouldn't be so lucky, Mogul held his breath and pretended to be dead. Satisfied that all his prisoners had been can you imagine the pain? And so they marched off and left the bodies as they lay. Accounts differ as to what happened next, with some claiming that Mogul was discovered by passing Federales forces and given medical attention. Others claim that Mogul, riddled with holes and excruciating pain, managed to drag himself 3 blocks to the church of the St. James Apostle, where a parishioner took him in, sewed up his wounds, and nursed him back to health. This latter feat seems particularly unbelievable, given the weight of the massive horseshoe Mogul must have had wedged up in his backside. Wow. Whatever the case, the ordeal left Mogul alive, but badly disfigured. But despite having escaped near death, Mogul was still a wanted man and remained hidden in the church until well after the revolution had ended. And there's the picture of him again. Blow that up. Let's see. It doesn't look like that was a pleasant experience for him at all. So I don't know what the Utah, they say that they are behind a curtain. One of them has a blank, and then there's a brick wall. They put the guns through the brick wall, and they have stuff in the back, sandbags to absorb the bullets so they don't get ricochet. And then they fire. And so now Idaho has decided to readopt this. I believe the measure passed. I might have been wrong the other day saying that Idaho doesn't have a... You guys can correct me on that, please, if you're listening. That Idaho doesn't currently have an official form of lethal corporal punishment. So, alright, let's check back in on the tubes of you, see what's happening on the streets here. Anything going on? Anything going on? Anything going on? We got J-Rod on points usually up when I'm up. We don't have him to check in with today, unfortunately. Let's do another flyby here. And here we go. Came up right up in my feed. We're going to watch this. This is the latest video drop
Hey
here
husbands,
on the Purge
Valentine's
from
Day
Jen
is coming.
At
And if you found the love of your life,
the lovely
get
Jen.
her this.
And let's see what
Randy,
we
you're
got.
so right, but I mean, so little information has been released. We don't even have a sense of some of the leads they have gotten. They're looking, of course, for the occupants of this, make and model of this white Hyundai Elantra that they believe was in the vicinity of the scene. But that's about it. And so no murder weapon has been recovered, which I find, quite suspect. Speaking of suspects, we're not privy to if they have, a list or one person they're honing in on. But in your view, having followed all of these investigations in your career, does it seem like they're withholding too much? Or maybe they just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know that you can ever withhold too much, because if you want to apprehend the right person, not just any person, because let's face it, about the only thing worse than not catching anyone is catching the wrong person.
Let's hear that again for the lynch mob in the cheap seats.
If you want to apprehend the right person, not just any person, because let's face it, about the only thing worse than not catching anyone is catching the wrong person. Because if you catch the wrong person, it's going to make it all that more difficult once you believe you have the right person to convince 12 people that, listen, we did everything right, but no, you got to believe me this time.
They will not be able to prosecute anyone else after this mess of an investigation. I just don't know if this is because of corruption or incompetence or both. It's one thing to keep information from the public. It's another thing to put out lies and contradictions without any corrections. The only way the state has a chance at winning is if the jury pool is tainted. It almost seems like the gag order was done for this exact reason. Misinformation has taken the place of evidence.
Our next question comes from Rob RC. It's actually at Rob4824914 on Twitter. And he asks, do you think a high-profile pro bono attorney will ride into town? Joe, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes, Rob, I think that we might definitely see somebody swoop in here. Right here is actually now international case. They're following it everywhere. It is a great opportunity for somebody who wants to make their bones in the law profession. So if you take the case on for free, right, pro bono, it might provide that opportunity if just in case they do win the case. And I always point to cases like Casey Anthony, where the lawyer steps in who is relatively unknown and all of a sudden becomes famous when he won. So yes, I definitely think that we might see somebody swoop in here at the last second.
So far, Ann Taylor is doing a great job, as far as I can tell, but this is a good point. Why didn't any lawyers step up pro bono to represent Bryan Kohberger? This is a very high-profile case that would be a career-defining opportunity. I just find it unusual. What do you guys think?
And new details about the man accused of the murders.
Hi, my name is Brian. Would you be able to give me a haircut tomorrow by any chance?
It's crazy to find out I interacted with this person. I touched this person's hair. I made this person look and feel good about themselves.
This was hard to find because MSM only pushes the negative comments about Bryan that were from people he was friends with over a decade ago. Old friends' opinions are not really relevant, but yet they are widespread and well-known.
Right. If you look on Google, there's particular searches that you can do to see what queries are made. So if you go into Bryan Kohberger suspect or Bryan Kohberger wanted for a period of years, going even beyond 2018, before 2018, and well before these murders, well before he was arrested, it's amazing. You see all these queries for those. Well, who would conduct those queries? But I would contend that person querying themselves, wanting to know if they're wanted, wanting to know if they are a suspect, or somebody that was thinking they could be a suspect or wanted.
Hey, thank you for...
What I'm about to show you gives me so much satisfaction, because I am about to show you how clueless that woman is and how mainstream media loves to twist things around.
I love it.
First of all, she does not understand how Google Trends actually works.
But let me tell you about this this former coworker of Bryan Kohberger's. Woof. It turns out between 2016 and 2021, he was this security guard for the school district. The school district actually had to turn over records because they were subpoenaed. And it's weird here. This will matter to his lawyers. This is really going to matter to his lawyers if he is tried and convicted and there's a death penalty phase. In 2018, he was credited with helping save a life of a coworker. And that could be a mitigating factor in a death penalty phase. So keep that in the back of your mind, because you can just pull that out later.
Just stocked up on a ton of Paleo Valley beef sticks. If you are a fan, this is the time.
In 2018, Bryan's name was mentioned in multiple news articles because he helped save a coworker's life. This is why there is an uptake in interest for his name. Google Trends does not show the volume of searches. It shows changes in interest in a particular search term over time. This also includes any time a term is indexed on a website page. So the news articles about Bryan helping to save his coworker contributed to the increase on the chart previously showed. This next part really irritates me, and it will irritate you too. It's really messed up. Just watch.
But my next guests actually heard from this former coworker who sort of spilled the beans on a lot of stuff about Bryan Kohberger, and you know them well because they're the administrators of a very popular webpage. Joining me now, Christine Cameron and Alina Smith, admins of the University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion Group on Facebook. It's one of the biggest true crime pages on Facebook right now, with 225,000 members and counting. Ladies, it's great to have you back on. Thank you so much for being here.
Do these two women look familiar to you? Well, it's because this is not the first time they have done interviews with the media regarding the Bryan Kohberger case. Their Facebook group is also the one where Papa Rogers was posting. These two women are also the ones who released the What Did You Say to Adam video, as well as the Corner Club footage. Do you see a pattern? And I guarantee they are also the sources of many other bits of misinformation that we have heard from the media.
Let me start with you, Christine,
Thanks
with
for having
what
us,
this
Jen.
coworker. Well, I'm delighted. I love talking to you. What this former coworker laid out in detail about her time with Brian Kohberger.
Sure. A member reached out to me privately through our Facebook group. This person said they worked with Kohberger at Pleasant Valley School District pre-COVID. We know it's legitimate because they sent a selfie with him and documents from the district showing employment. He lied about an incident and got caught on cameras, which made him really mad. He swore he did not hit another person in the parking lot and went as far as to rub the dirt on the ground on this person's car in the parking lot to say that he didn't do this as a cover-up. He was not apologetic to this person, and he just got really angry when other people believed the camera footage that they had in front of them. And that just goes to show his outburst and his temper. He was obsessed about his weight.
Obsessed about his weight. We'd heard that before. And he talked a lot about personality traits and disorders as well.
He did. His hobby was studying serial killers and what caused them to commit these murders. And this person said to us that, if someone was in the room getting any attention or was showing him up, he would go nuts. And this person gave a tip to the police. They said, just tell him that he is not the smartest person in the room, and he'll tell you how he did it.
This is such nonsense. First of all, she looks like she's reading from a script. Just watch her eye movement. Second of all, that was not his hobby, idiot. That was what he was studying at school for his degree. Do you guys see how things get twisted around to make him look like a monster? This is so unsettling. Really ticks me off.
That's fascinating. I'm particularly fascinated with that little nugget that this employee said that Brian Kohberger's hobby was studying serial killers and what caused them to commit murder. That is chilling.
It is.
Okay, Alina, we had a poll out on your page.
Okay. I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other.
Wow, pretty good. It seems like a lot of the stuff that we've been fed has come from one source. Isn't that interesting? And it harkens back to Heather's theory of Pretty Imperfect and Boogeyman, and that's very well vetted. We're waiting on Jenn to come on and join us up here. Hopefully, I don't know if I charged my phone or not. Hopefully, we'll be able to have her on for a while. And I'll turn off the AC here in a minute. Let's see here. We can find the live to jump in real quick. We're not. Actually, I wanted to real quick get on the news front and see. It's funny, there's no news on the weekends. It doesn't have nothing happens on the weekends because they take the weekend off, and then they wait till late at night to finally release whatever news has happened over the weekend on Monday. So I like to take a look. Let's see here. That's interesting. I think I had one more story. When fur meets duty, a Pullman police officer free a stuck raccoon. Okay. I got a peanut in my tube. Oh. Isn't that interesting? Okay, here we go. New Atherton County Jail nearing its debut. Oh, and there's the pods. I hope they're going to put a balcony in front of those. You gotta crawl your way to your cell. It looks like fancy digs for Atherton prisoners there. And they're running the wires and stuff so they can electrocute everybody. Wow, look at those doors. Whew. Get your, comfortable beds there in the jail if you ever want to test those out. They have even better facilities here in Pinellas County, let me tell you. And I would love to see the sheriff enjoy one night in the jail here. Right, they're very proud of their facility. I don't know what's going on here. Apparently they haven't attached the balcony yet. These look like they come like storage containers already shipped or already assembled. 2 shoplifters arrested, drug possession. I think I killed that guy. Man uses 34-pound air compressor to commit violent murder hours before jail release. The same day he was released from jail, a Washington State man allegedly beat a drug dealer to death with a 34-pound air compressor and chair. Christopher Reyes, 47, faced charges of first degree in the death of William Akers, 56. The case came to light on November 27th when police were dispatched to a resident on... Oh, wow. A friend told... Let me see where I'm at. Yeah, okay, I'm not in the red. I can get the charger ready. Depends on how long Jen wants to stay up. A friend told police that he found Akers lying on his back in a pool of blood on the floor of a garage. An orange air compressor rested on top of the victim's right arm. That means he must have done it himself. The friend told police the victim was cold and stiff to the touch. First, now here, look at all these details that they released right away. Here you have an open and shut case. Right, you ready, Jen? Come on and ringy dingy. When you're ready, she went and grabbed some Wendy's. She was hungry. I'll let it slide this time. So we'll get her on the phone here in a second, and let's see what we got here as far as headlines go. The Bucks lost, unfortunately, last night. My Tampa Bay Bucks are not going any further in the playoffs. One little mistake cost us the game there, I think, and it was a bad snap. So be it. We can't win every one, I guess. So this is one thing that's going on, and people are wondering what this red stuff is that they're spraying out of the planes. Now, that's a straight-up jetliner. Wow. And I guess the fuselage is just full of this, and so that's a fire retardant. Look at that. Aircraft battling fires ranging through the Los Angeles area are dousing the area with more than water. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of hot pink fire suppressant have been dropped ahead of the flames in a desperate effort to stop them before. So it's like the Danger Zone was saying earlier, they're worried that the Santa Ana winds are going to pick back up and they'll rage through. I mean, wow, this is really taking out a good portion of LA County. LA County is much the same as San Diego County, where it's a collection of small towns, or in LA's case, a collection of big towns. And they just go on sprawling forever. Oh, wow, that's interesting how that works. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right, Jen, you ready to come in there? And I'll play guitar and lead you in. Or you know what? Let's get Jen a proper intro, and let's see if I can't find that tune there that Douglas Outlaw made for us, and I put it in here. Maybe it's at the top here. Oh, we could just search Douglas Outlaw, I guess. We'll play her in here. Sucker. Gigolo. I think he's in the top of my, what do you call it, feed here, the subscriptions. Let's check it out. And they got that. Dead air. Waiting on Jen. Here we go. Douglas Outlaw. There he is. Alright, let's play her in. Looks like he released a new tune, The Power of Staying Quiet in the Court of Public Opinion. I don't know if this is a tune or what this is. Let's check it out.
I sit in this cell, but don't call me a prisoner. Y'all built this story, but it's missing a signature. Point your fingers, light your torches, scream my name. But a house built on lies is bound to go up in flames. You got cameras and theories, your cheap little tricks, but the clock's ticking fast, and the truth's gonna stick. I ain't saying a word, let the circus roll by, 'cause the cards in my hand make the devil look shy. I'm the silent king in a land of fools. You can shout, you can cry, but I don't play by your rules. You think you've got the power, but you're building on sand. I'll just sit back and watch your case slip through your hands. Call it justice, but it's a parade of clowns, chasing shadows in the dark while the truth wears a crown. Your evidence is hollow, your motives are clear. It's the court of public opinion that you're feeding with fear. I don't need to protest, I don't need to fight. When the state can't deliver, that's my alibi. I see your foundations cracked and your facade falling apart. This is poker, baby, and I'm holding all the hearts. I'm the silent king in a land of fools. You can shout, you can cry, but I don't play by your rules. You think you got the power, but you're building on sand. I'll just sit back and watch your case slip through your hands. Oh, the jury's out, but the game's not done. Your lies are a race and the truth don't run. Keep your gossip, your podcast, your media wars. Every card you play just opens new doors. Thought you had a villain, but the plot's gone wrong, and I'm humming my freedom like a southern rock song. I'm the silent king in a land of fools. You can shout, you can cry, but I don't play by your rules. You think you've got the power, but you're building on sand. I'll just sit back and watch your case slip through your hands. So keep calling me guilty, keep spinning your yarn. I'll be smiling in silence while you crash and burn. The truth like a storm, and it's coming in strong. And the silent king, well, he's been right all along.
That's nice. All right.
Sir,
I
are
like
you with
that.
your girlfriend?
Let's get back to see if we can play her in with Lana's song. I really dig that song you wrote for Lana, and I didn't realize this for Lana until about halfway through. And here it is.
2 years in the shadows, chained by their lies. They cast their verdict under smoke-filled skies. Show me proof, my lawyers call, but it's all charades. Just whispers and shadows in their crooked crusades. You bulldozed the truth, left the questions to fade. Buried the answers in the mess you made. Truth and transparency, let us cutting the wire. Striking a match to the house of your fire. You bulldozed the truth, left the questions to fade. Buried the answers in the mess how'd you flank? The question repeats, but the answers are buried beneath deceit. Your evidence bends, your motives bleed. A system that thrives on its twisted creed. Lana's voice is a thunder, breaking the night, shattering the silence, exposing the fight. Justice isn't blind, it's chained and bound, but the reckoning's rising and it won't back down. You can't break what you can't erase. Your lies will burn in the light they face. Truth's a storm that you can't contain. It'll drown your empire in the weight of my pain. Your hollow throne, your gilded disguise will crumble and fall as the reckoning rise. In the walls, a system diseased, built on power and the lives it seized. You thought your lies could silence my flame, but the fire is spreading, it's calling your name. Through bulldozed scenes, through cover-up show, your kingdom of shadows is breaking stone by stone. Lana's blade strikes, cutting deep, cutting clean, exposing the cracks where your truth has been. You can't break what you can't erase. Your lies will burn in the light they face. Truth's a storm that you can't contain. It'll drown your empire in the weight of my pain.
There you
Your
are.
hollow throne, your gilded disguise will crumble and fall as the reckoning rise.
We have Jenn from that Criminal Confidential here with us today. Say hi, Jenn.
Hi, Jen.
How are you today? Let me turn off the AC here because it is 76 degrees here in Clearwater, Florida today. And yeah, we took a look at your, I'm sure you feel sorry for me, right? Hey, Carla. All right, we got to play a little quick romp for, I don't have a bell like Lana. Let's see what I can do here real quick for, I'm a little out of tune, but... All right, there we go for Carla. Thank you, Carla, very much for gifting 5 memberships. Boots, Alexander, Doc, Beverly Hassel, and Glowy all got a membership. Welcome to the Purge and the land of the misfits. So, we were checking out. You popped up on my feed there, Jenn.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to eat at the same time, so if I talk funny, I have food in my mouth.
I made her woof it down.
Thankfully, he was rushing me, everyone. He was rushing me.
Thankfully, she didn't check. Want it on my desk. Kids go to bed. All right. Well, we got Scoop here now, and she's going to talk about... You want to talk about your video? What do you got going on, kiddo?
Did you see it already?
We did. We watched that, and everybody was definitely... that got the chat rolling. And let me... is it this one here? 46 minutes ago. Yeah, that's right. We got a world premiere here on the Purge today from Jenn. And
blemish removal.
I see that they're running commercials on your channel now. That's great. Like I was saying earlier that I was watching Harsh and I tried to go to the Plop Plop machine and listen in, and of course they ran a 20-minute commercial, which I don't understand. First of all, I understand that you have the skip feature, but if you're doing the dishes or something, you're trying to listen to stuff, and then you get a 20-minute commercial about how you should invest in somebody's shoe company, it's like...
That's what they bet on. That's why those, there's different prices the advertisers say. Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
I
worries.
used to sell those ads to like car dealerships. So there's like different price levels for skippable ones and non-skippable ones and blah, blah, blah.
Well, you think that's tough. I had a friend who had to sell advertisements for I think it was a North Carolina rodeo.
Oh God.
And when they made a sale, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
So
I'm not gonna do it anymore. I hate having to fight for my job like the first of every month,
Yeah, they gave you a base on that, or
Yeah, I had a base. I mean, listen, I make good money. I was making like 6 figures, but it's stressful. I couldn't do it anymore.
You're over that one. All right, so let's see. Let's take a listen to the beginning of this because I was honestly getting some coffee.
I mean, so little information has been released. We don't even have a sense of some of the leads they have gotten. They're looking, of course, for the occupants of this, make and model of this white Hyundai Elantra that they believe was in the vicinity of the scene. That's
This
about
guy looks
it.
like Mr. Magoo.
And so no murder weapon has been recovered, which I find, quite suspect. Speaking of suspects,
is he in the bathroom? Is that? It looks like that might be the shower glass door.
It looks like bathroom wallpaper for sure.
I mean, what the fuck? So yeah, the gist of this video was the bullshit that they put out there, and kids go to bed. The misinformation that they've spread. Now, if you remember, Jen, when we were doing the Idaho 4 backrooms with Lana's footage there, and we listened in to the ISP officer talking about the media partners, how they thanked the media partners. And I could sit here and I could show you video all day of them mistreating the media and different people depending on their level of clearance or whatever. And now they've been...
They are, because it's always the pretty reporters that tend to get the interviews too, I've noticed.
Well, yeah, of course they're going to get out of tickets and they're going to get the red carpet treatment when they brought to a crime scene. When a big fat dude like me shows up, they try to kick him in the teeth and find something he did wrong. God forbid they pull up my history. And so...
Did you notice with those women from that Facebook group when they were talking, and they were like, oh, he wants to be the smartest person in the room. Like, bitches, you're just regurgitating what someone else said. Like, stop. And you could totally tell that she was reading, right? She was, like, reading from a script or something.
Listen, that was a great find, Jen.
I just found it, like, a couple hours ago. Like, the video was going to be about something else, and then I saw that, and I was like, holy shit. And then I just ended it where I was. I left it at that. I was going to add more. I was like, let me just put this out, because this is crazy.
But I just wanted to mention that the chat just got real. Angel D and Tony, David Bird have arrived. So it's really, we got to be on point now. Otherwise, they will correct us. So, listen. The reason I feel it's such a great point is, like I said, with the media partners thing, is this a collab to try, like I keep saying, they want to divide, just here in YouTube alone and on TikTok and this and that, they want to divide and conquer us. And I think there's a lot of people that are out there trying to do just that. Would you agree?
Yeah, and also what I think is going on is this is a way to get around the gag order. You know what I'm saying? They're we're gonna put this out, and it was someone in our Facebook group. Somebody just told us, like, what makes these women so special that all these like drops, these big booms are coming through that? Like, come on.
Well, how many?
1, maybe 2. Okay, but no.
What was it? It was like 4 of some of the biggest pieces of crumb.
The biggest, right?
That we've gotten. No, and so, it would be interesting to do, and maybe like Bubbly Waters or something has already looked into it, I imagine. If there is a connection to Doug Wilson and the Christ Church, I wonder.
I do. I mean, okay, one of the women, her last name is Smith, and obviously it's a common name. Okay, obviously.
Smith is a very Mormon name, actually.
The responding officer on the PCA, wasn't his name Smith? And then you had that girl, Martha Smith, that was coming out and saying that she was supposed to meet Hunter to work on a project or something. Like, there's just like a lot of that, Smiths.
Wait, you did the New York thing again. Slow that down one more time. Sorry.
Okay, so that woman, I'm sorry, I'm excited. I'm triggered.
You're jacked up on Wendy's.
One of the 2 women that own that group, right? One of them is Christine Cameron, and I think the other one is Alina Smith. Obviously, Smith is a common name, but you do have a lot of, Smiths being dropped in this case. You have I think the responding officer, the first responder on the PCA, wasn't it Officer Smith? and then you have that I think was it 2020 or 48 hours? I don't know. One of them had put an episode out that's deleted from the internet completely. You can find like pieces of it on TikTok. But anyway, in that documentary, there was a girl talking. Her name is Martha Smith. She was one of the friends of the group. She said that she had found out that morning because she was supposed to go meet Hunter to study on a project or something for a class.
Hunter,
anyway,
which Hunter?
Right, Hunter.
Johnson?
Chapin.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Just a lot of Smiths. I happen to notice.
Yeah, that's a really big find. So what have you checked out the most recent documents that were released today or the other day or whatever?
Honestly, when it comes to the court stuff, I'm really like kind of checked out, but I'm starting to check in a little bit. I'm so behind on it. Like I only know like basically what everyone else talks about. I started looking into like kind of dissecting some stuff more today, but it's all old documents. I'm not up to par with the new ones. So tell me about them.
Okay, I'm just the same as you. I just do what I'm told as far as the court documents go, and
sometimes you do.
yeah, I don't listen. Let's see here. Oh no, where'd it go?
Hey, Angel D.
Angel D in the house, my friends. The lovely Angel D. Let me scroll back. I don't know how far it's going to be back. But I wanted to play a part, and I think you'll like it, okay. From Post Woke. And she was talking about Jay Embry, how he like kind of flipped his lid over the way that they're handling the FBI. I can search. Let me just search here. Let's see if it comes up. That's me first, which I like. And was it Miss Potts? No, well, it's not even popping up. Maybe that's okay. Wait. Post woke world. Got that details. Maybe I don't know. Let's see. I'm sorry. Bear with me 1 second. Dead air.
You're done.
Okay. Somehow it took me.
Remember that UFO I saw the other day?
Oh yeah, we played that video actually.
It came back. Did you see the video you posted? Just to fill in the dead air a little bit while you look for that.
I did see that. We played it actually. And I don't know. Rochford has a theory on that. And Rochford, you can call in too if you like. We get a three-way going here. Hey, without my permission, what are you talking about? All right.
I do not consent.
You know what I liked about the video that you posted also was
I was cursing. I kept saying, "What the fuck is that?" Talking to myself. Is that what you liked?
No, you showed the walkway to your apartments. So I finally got an idea of where the guy was digging the holes outside of your window that night. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
I showed you the video of him digging the holes. Oh, for anybody who doesn't know that story, it was like 1-something in the morning, and I hear like a scratching, like a weird sound outside my window is open, and I look outside and I just see like a big shadow in the bushes moving, and it was digging. So I think, okay, it's a cat or a raccoon, I don't know. So I was trying to film it, and when I was trying to part the blinds, they made a noise, and then the shadow stopped, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, who is that? And then this guy stood up with no shirt on. It's like maybe mid-20s, early 20s.
What time of night?
I was trying to find my wallet.
What time of night was that?
It was like 1:30 in the morning or something like that.
I mean, Lord. And he was digging holes?
That's the digging outside the window story.
What did he say he was looking for?
His wallet. I was like, yeah, right, get out of here.
I buried it around here somewhere. I know it. All right,
come on.
I found the post-woke video I'm talking about.
He has someone else in the vehicle,
that
right?
solidified and validated any paranoia that I have because of this case, honestly, because it makes me suspicious of everybody.
Oh, I can't blame you. It's definitely scary out there for women especially. That's why I like to keep everybody abreast of the new technologies and stuff that they can use to track you, because guys honestly can be, and women too, can be really spiteful and nefarious when you least expect it.
Hell hath no fury.
And yeah, but guys, it's a lot more scary because it just seems that ever since 2019, the ability to pop off on guys is just razor thin anymore, and the littlest thing they don't get their way, it'll set them off. So it's scary. Anyway, so here's Post Woke. We'll play this I'll keep you on the line, Jen.
Like,
Okay.
we all know that when a new character gets unlocked in the Idaho 4 saga, everybody really just like dives in and finds out every single possible piece of information on this person. And so, is it possible that at that traffic stop later at night that he had, somebody else in his car? And so if we see the camera footage of it, then we will see the other person. And that's my number one theory on that. I can't think of any other reason why we wouldn't be able to see, camera footage of the stop. At first I was like, well, maybe, he said something like, hey, I'm an informant, or I don't know. I was just thinking of all these wild things, but that doesn't even make sense because informants don't really just say that out loud to like cops that they don't know that pulled them over. So that doesn't make any sense. Maybe he says something in there about, because normally when they pull you over, they ask you, where are you coming from, right? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Your license, and it's like, okay, like that makes sense, Maybe it was simple as he's pulling out of like a 24-hour grocery store or a Walmart if they have those in Moscow. Or maybe he said, I'm coming from my friend's house on Queen Street. That would be interesting. I mean, we just don't know, but I think there are some things that he says in there, or a person or persons in the car with him that they just don't want the public to see right now because for the privacy of the individual. They may feel, attacked. I don't think that's a good reason to not show it, though. I mean, it's public knowledge. Like, we still have a right to see who's in the car. What if Frank Kopacko was sitting in the front seat with him? Wouldn't that be interesting, right? A lot of people theorize.
Okay, so I was rereading some of the PCA in, not the PCA, but the search warrants in Washington. Or maybe it was in Idaho, whatever, either one. It mentions a phone number, and then it says that it was registered to the address, his parents' house in Pennsylvania. But it's a Washington phone number. I mean, obviously, I know you can do that. You can have a out-of-state area code and have the bill go somewhere else. But I just thought it was weird, like, that he would have the bill. Like, why would you get a new phone number with a Washington area code, but then still have the bill go to Pennsylvania? I mean, I don't think his parents were paying his bill. Like,
oh, maybe they were.
I mean, like, he's grown, and like, it's not like they were rolling the money. They had multiple bankruptcies. I doubt it, but maybe.
Oh, there was multiple bankruptcies? I didn't know that.
I think they had at least one. I think two. But definitely at least one.
So they must have had a business of some sort to do that, probably, right? Or maybe just for holdings?
I mean, I don't even know if it's true. I haven't looked into it myself, but there was an article that came out, said something about, like, at one point they had, like, $67 in their bank account. Like,
I remember seeing that one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on with Post Woke here.
Although I haven't seen proof that he was dating or hanging out with a young Asian woman. Now, I know if you look at the people who are in the PhD program at the University of Idaho, Washington State University, there was a young Asian woman there. So did they become friends or more? I don't know. So yeah, it's just interesting to theorize what the reasons would be. So people are either in the car with him, 1, 2, 3 people. He says something like the address he was coming to or where he was. And I don't know what else it could be. I could see why they would want to hide that. I don't think it's a valid reason to hide it. We have a right to see it. He's been charged, and we have a right to see who he was hanging out with and what he was doing that night. So it's kind of BS. And then I just want to talk about the latest doc drops. I have not gone through them. There's been so many, and I'm sure there's
Ladies and
some like
gentlemen,
nuggets of
welcome.
good information there. I've been following Pavarotti, going over them. I've been following Truth and Transparency, going over them. I usually like to follow a lawyer that's going over them because they really end up explaining things in a way that I wouldn't have thought of because they have a legal education, right? And so I was listening to Pavarotti talk about this latest dump, and this is no shade on Pavarotti. Please hear that first and foremost. But he's pretty worked up, and I understand why. I get it. Like, they're hiding the ball, right? The prosecution is hiding the ball. They're not giving over key pieces of discovery evidence, okay? And he's angry. And it reminded me of how I felt when I was watching the pretrial motions for Karen Reed. And I remember listening to a couple lawyers at that time, Emily D. Baker and Peter Tragos, and some of the things they thought were a little bit of a stretch, but for the most part, they were like, this is what the prosecution does in every trial. Like, in every trial, the prosecution hides
we're
the
back
ball as long as they can get away with it. They don't produce the evidence, they don't produce discovery, and they just don't give up what their game is until they absolutely have to. And why are they able to do this? Because the judges let them
I'm
get
not.
away with it. They give the benefit of the doubt to the prosecution. They want to let them, conceal some of this stuff till the very last minute. Is it legal? It seems like it's a legal standard at this point. If you watch any of these trials, it happens over and over again. Karen Reed, Delphi, even in like the Vallow case, not that I wanted her to be innocent, but they withhold this stuff until they can no more. And it's a culture of allowing this, and it happens more often than it should, in my opinion. The prosecution should be held to a higher standard of providing evidence than the defense, because they're the one bringing the charge, right? I did want to mention about the Daubert hearing, because I think Pavarotti was talking about the defense saying Daubert, and just from what I've watched and what I've learned and everything, Daubert is the Daubert-Frye decision was a Supreme Court decision of the United States, not of any particular state. And so when there's a Supreme Court decision, then that changes the standard in the lower courts. That's the whole reason why people get all worked up over Supreme Court decisions, because that's the highest court in the land. Once they rule on something, that is now the new standard for all other courts to apply. If they don't, it'll be an appeal and they'll lose, right? So all 50 states really use the Daubert standard, including Idaho. Idaho uses it as well. I understand Pavarotti said they use 702, but the criminal rule 702 is very similar to Daubert. It incorporates all the same things. So I think it was just the wording on that paper. I'm pretty sure the defense is very well versed on Daubert and what Daubert is. So I think that might have been wrong what he said there. Or maybe he's right and I'm wrong. It's just that Daubert is like the standard, and either way, I don't think that's going to affect whether the judge wants to rule in the favor of the defense. If you follow Karen Reed, you just watch the Daubert hearing of Dr. Marie Russell, right? How painful was that shit? I'm sorry, stuff. Trying to curse a little less, guys. But that was pretty painful. Now, if what I read in Idaho is there are 25 experts, my lordy, if they do Dauberts for all of them, they better start tomorrow. And they should be able to do that. Like, there should be enough time for them to request Alberts on all of them. And the judge can decide which ones are worthy or not. But in terms of the prosecution withholding stuff, I'm not going to say that it's not unusual because I haven't personally read through all the documents. But what I will say is, in general, it's not unusual. I mean, they've done this in many trials. And Karen Reed, I remember during the trial, something came back. That should have been back months before. Delphi, that case was open 7 years. How long? They had stuff come up in trial that was finally produced by the prosecution. It's incredible. It's just incredible. And they.
So yeah, that was the part I wanted to play right there. What do you think about that, Jen?
I agree. I haven't really watched, like I said, I haven't really kept up with the court stuff, to be honest, so I don't have much of an opinion, but...
Well, you know for a fact that the... hey, Kibo, what's up? Nice to have you in today. That they're on their 21st or whatever motion for discovery, and what she said is in the Delphi trial, they brought up discovery in the middle of the trial. And so we know that all lawyers use tactics, right?
Yeah.
But this is a very nefarious tactic to withhold the information and experts right up in...
There's no excuse.
It's disgusting. And it tilts the balance of justice, right? And they have no apologies for it. They are allowed to get away with it. And I think a lot of us had hoped with Hitler's very rigid court schedule, anyway, with his appearance of truth and transparency, let's say, that he would call the prosecution out on this. But he has continued to allow these shenanigans to persist. And it's horrifying to think that we may not get, let alone publicly, but even for just the defense and Taylor, the all the stuff that they need to put up a defense. And you can see in the press from the articles I showed earlier that their intention is to delay it as long as they can, and when the defense calls out their misdoings, the press presents it as, oh, the defense is trying to get everything tossed out like it's some wild thing. But here, they violated his Fourth Amendment rights. Period.
People don't realize, corruption and guilt can both exist at the same time. He could still be guilty and still deserves a fair trial, and still they could have messed up the investigation. And people need to focus on that. There should be no excuses and no question left unanswered and no games. Why can't it just be sure, have the trial wherever you want. I don't care. I got the evidence. That's the attitude that the state should have. And they don't. And the games they're playing are just so blatant. It's such an insult to my intelligence, and it should be an insult to everyone's intelligence that they even expect you to believe the story they put out. It's just... It's sad. It's really concerning, and it should concern everybody, because it's not just about Brian and not just about the victims. It's about all of us in America. This is not how it's supposed to go.
Well, do you remember the video of the guy whose house was on fire and they came and beat him up? And
no.
Yeah, it was
I don't think I saw that. I feel like
Kentucky, or it was something we played a while back. Anyway. It is, the police ended up getting charged in that particular case, but in general, they get away with it. I forgot what I was. Every episode I have to forget something. I'll remember later.
I know.
Let's play this.
I want to say something real quick, though, before I forget.
Sure.
It doesn't have to do with what we're talking about exactly, but talking about the G's and how, like, I agree. Someone in the chat said, I think Esther said that they're hiding, like, dirt they don't want uncovered, and I do agree. Rewatching, like, the dedication for the Vandal Garden today.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. My computer went kabonkos there real quick, and we're back real quick. And I got somebody at the door. We got Brian, and let's invite him in and say hello to him real quick. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. We're back. Okay. What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Sorry, we're doing a 3-hour live anyway, so we could use a little. We got
Have fun.
Brian, my neighbor here from next door.
I'm going to the store.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's.
I played a video that was, I thought of you from earlier, some Boston guy. I forgot what it was now.
I'm going to the store. Do you need anything?
I think I'm all right. I mean,
the store closed. About the Danish.
You know you're wrong, right?
No, I muted it right there real quick. I got that in. I snuck that in, but
No, I like the Danish, but you like the No, I like the Boston cream.
The white one.
Just the plain one.
Yeah. No, well, it's white.
Oh, with the white.
Yeah,
frosting.
not to be racist or anything, but anyway. So,
Vanilla
all right.
frosting.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I fell asleep last night and the Bucks lost. It sucked. So I was gonna go over there and play guitar with them. Maybe we jam later. If you're still up. Wow, it's late for you. You better hurry. It's gonna close.
Well, that's henceforth why I stopped, because I was about to blow by.
Fuck yeah, hell yeah.
Said, oh shit.
Thanks, bro.
You need them things.
Yeah.
Pukables.
All right, brother. I'll see. Did you work today?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, see you in a minute. Later. All right. So anyway, where were we, Jen?
I was just responding in chat about the "it's okay, I'm gonna help you." You know.
Oh, what were they saying about that?
Well, I was just saying that to me, like, that's not something a killer would say. Like, it's okay, I'm here to help you. Just kidding, I'm gonna kill you. No one's gonna say that. It's something a first responder or like an older like authority figure would say, in my opinion.
Absolutely, it's something that a lot of people have said would lend. I'm sorry, I'm loud, guys. I'm trying to balance out between me and Jen here. Let me tune me down for a second while I'm talking. It would lend credence to the theory that there was more than one person. That maybe somebody surprised somebody with a knife and they said, "No, don't stab me." Did you happen to catch our show, our last one? I think you were on later, maybe, or you were in the chat. But we had the brilliant Miss Potts on. If everybody's familiar with Miss Potts,
I came on late.
She had a theory, and whenever she says, you're not going to want to hear what I have to say about this, I know it's coming. And we talked about Murphy the dog. And I said, well, there's no way that dog was locked in that room. She carried that dog around with her in a dog carrier, and you're not going to take a young puppy and lock it in the room by itself. First of all, it might make a mess in there. Secondly, it'd just be barking and scratching the door the whole time.
No freaking way would Kaylee have left Murphy in her. Like, absolutely not. No. There's not one scenario that's possible. She treated Murphy like her baby, and if she really wanted to sleep in the same bed as Maddie so badly, like they did when they were kids, they would have slept in her bigger bed, in her bigger room with Murphy. Like, there's no scenario where she would have purposely fell asleep in Maddie's bed, intentionally. Now, another thing about that whole narrative that irritates me, when the G's are like, oh yeah, they used to sleep in bed together when they were younger. Of course they did. They were kids and didn't have their own house with their own rooms under the same roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had sleepovers. They had no other choice. Like, where else were they going to sleep? So, Murphy was, no. Someone put Murphy there, or someone put Kaylee in Maddie's room. Something like that. But it was not intentional. There's no way I'll believe that ever.
Well, I pointed out to Miss Potts, and she already knew, of course, but that the dog was taken, not forensically examined, taken directly to the pound, and then someone who could have very likely been a suspect at this point in the time was handed over to the dog. And she said,
I showed you on the MPD reports, there is a call, I think around maybe 7 p.m., I want to say, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Where someone requested assistance locating a dog that was dropped off at Humane Society, right?
Right.
And they did a report for whatever reason. Like, why do you need a report on that? And it's listed under a suspicious person / circumstance. Like, why is that suspicious? I've never done a FOIA. I want someone to do the FOIA. Please, let's get that report. Like, I want to see it.
It's funny, Too Fast said he's got fingers Tourette's. From typing in the chat. Well, anyway, sorry, let me get my volume here again.
You're fine on my end, but...
Oh, well, thank you. I've been trying all day. It doesn't just happen, this beautiful face here, you know. So, what she had said is that I don't think the dog was there at the time of the crime. And her whole thing was, we supposedly saw Jack D at the corner club with them, but her angle was that more than likely Jack D had the dog the whole time.
That's what I always thought too. I agree.
And then Kaylee and Maddie were trying to get the dog back. We share a dog, and like, if you're gonna keep the dog, I'm gonna take it with me to Texas and da 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 da.
Listen, I said that from the very beginning. I was like, that whole we share a dog was because Jack had the dog. That's why Kaylee went down there with Murphy's crate in her car, right? And because listen, if she was the type, if she was just drunk dialing and just wanted, to get some, some D or something, I don't know. She would have just went next door and knocked on his window or his door or window and be like, yo, why aren't you answering your phone? I mean, if she's the type to call that many times in a row, I mean, I would have. I've been like, hey, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, so I do agree. I said that like in the very beginning. I said, what if either that or maybe like Jack picked them up? I don't know. And they got in an argument, and that's why Kaylee left and went to stay in Maddie's room. I don't know. Maybe. But that doesn't explain Xander and Ethan, so I don't know. But it could be two motives. It could be, someone who just wanted to do that, just said, you know what, now I have the chance because they're going to blame it on someone else. But that's unlikely.
Well, yeah, damn, I forgot again.
Let's ask yourself this, right? Okay, Kaylee was allegedly still in the sorority, even though I don't believe she was, or the other two female victims. But, okay, if it's I know me, if I'm in town and I don't live there anymore and I'm moving away to another state, my friends are going to rally. They're going to be like, okay, we're going out for your last night, blah, blah, blah. Why weren't her friends wanting to hang out with her? Why weren't her other roommates wanting to hang out with her? Just Maddie? Why just Maddie? Why was it Jack wanting to see her on her last night? None of that jives.
Miss Potts is in the chat. Hi, Miss Potts. Very nice to have you with
Miss
us.
Potts, speak of the devil.
And Translucent
Speak of the angel.
has also joined us. Oh, she can be the devil. She can be snarky too.
only if you're lucky.
Right. That's when she goes shopping. She is pure Satan out there trying to get the deals. I'll tell you that, and I love it. The thing is in my opinion, Jen, the relationship between Jack D and Kaylee was over. When it's over, it's over. There's no babies in the future. She had moved on.
Over.
And what's that?
It's been over. There's no way. Listen, no woman or young girl that age especially, in love and happy, is going to pick up and move away and leave her man. Hell no. It's not like she was a rocket scientist, that there was like limited job opportunities,
Right.
You can get a job in IT anywhere, which is a whole other issue I have, because it's not easy to get a job in IT without an IT education, but
right.
It's a whole other, side note. No way. There's no way in hell. I saw the video I made, right, where she has Jack blocked on Instagram. Like, you don't do that. That's a big deal to that age group. Like, blocking is like taboo. You only block someone if you don't like them,
Yeah. Well, you were saying something about the fact that it's a big deal. Come on in, bro. Brian's back, everybody. Say hi to Brian. Let's see if we can see him here.
Hello, everybody.
Here he is. Oh God, he got a whole bag of roses. All right, cool. You were saying something about how your kids will text each other from the bedroom before they get up and talk to each other and see if everything's all right or whatever. And this and that.
If Dylan was sleeping, she's not going to get up 3 times to see what's going on. She's going to, like, hey, what's going on? Is everything okay? I heard you crying. Like, I mean...
Do they care, or are they manipulating each other?
Unless you just don't give a shit, you know? Like...
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't know anything about children. I don't have them. I was one.
Oh, did you grab what's called?
Are you doing okay out there? The fire's near you?
Okay, I'm just checking because they closed.
What was that
I'm sorry.
question she asked?
What was the question, Jen?
Oh no, I was asking Rollo. I saw Rollo's in chat. I was seeing if he was okay. Right? Aren't you in LA near the fires? Are you near the fires?
He is near LA. I know he was talking about going to the Dodger game not too long ago during the World Series. So if they, thank you, bro. You want some M&Ms?
No.
Okay, and if they were, we need, yeah, and if we need to find out, just if we need to find out if their phones were taken. We don't know whether or not Dylan and Bethany's phones were taken and examined. Which, if it was me and Rollo, they would have taken us, the phones, and anything in our house.
Handcuffs immediately.
And they would have grabbed our computers, and they would have found all our porn that we watch on there, and whatever, you know what I mean? And used it against us in a court of law.
Did you know that Pornhub isn't in Idaho anymore because of some laws they passed where you have to verify your identity through like ID or something? So they said, nope, we're not going to do that. So they pulled out of Idaho. No pun intended.
What the hell was that? Oh,
that's a good one.
Oh, is it?
Brian.
Did you see the video I posted yesterday about Bethany and Dylan? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, exactly. I wasn't sure that it was you. That's why I brought that up. I was sure that was you, but do we know for a fact that, so if they didn't check their phones, we're never going to know what really happened between them, right? Or if they don't enter that into evidence, at least. And there's no way, I think that was Miss Potts saying that she described the guy as a man clad in black, just as that other student. There's no way that they described Brian's demeanor as deadpan face.
I saw one kid from WSU that said that he seemed like he was living on the edge of the blade or something like that. I was like, are you kidding me?
What are you doing? No.
Saving them.
No.
Saving
no.
them.
Okay. What?
Nothing. Sorry.
Hold on, I'm gonna say something real fast, but I forgot now.
Brian, settle down.
Trying to help.
It's okay.
Too fast said a skillet whack.
I'm trying to help, and I'm an outsider. I suck. Anyhow, have fun. Go on. Next.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
I tried.
Anyway, okay, so where was I? The fact that also Jack D's relationship was over. Now, do you think that was him in the Corner Club picture or not?
I think it was him, but I think that whole photo is either AI or photoshopped. It's not. That photo is not real. It's not real. I'm sorry. Look at the numbers in the bottom right corner. They're wrong.
Yeah, there's no timestamp on it whatsoever, which is.
I did a video about it. God, you didn't watch my stuff.
I did watch it. That's why I'm talking about it right now.
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're here. We like to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak.
Now, talking about Dylan seeing clad in black, whatever. In the PCA, it says that the person was wearing a mask covering their nose and mouth, I think, right?
Right.
Which infers to me that it's not like a full head mask, not like a ski mask, right? Why? First of all, you should talk to the witnesses, the 2 surviving witnesses, or unharmed witnesses, I should say. immediately, right? So why wouldn't they like find out? Oh shit, she saw somebody. Okay, let's put out a bolo. 6'10", blah blah blah, white male, brown hair. Like you should have saw his hair, right? Like blue eyes. How do you see eyebrows and not eyes? Like I don't know. That whole thing is bullshit. Like why did they not put a bolo out if they did in fact speak to her immediately and they did in fact get that story immediately? And that's my opinion. They didn't get that story immediately. They reverse engineered this whole freaking thing.
Mm-hmm. And considering the source of that picture now, that's vetted pretty much now, wouldn't we say?
I don't buy it at all. Everything that Facebook group put out, I think is propaganda.
Yeah, it's part of the divide and conquer, or the make you question and make him the boogeyman over and over again. And what I'm worried about, going back to talking about the withholding of discovery and witness or experts that are going to testify, is that's scary to think that we're going to go ahead and start this trial and not knowing what she's getting into. And they have these landmines set for her to step on.
Yeah. I just want to clarify real quick. Everyone's talking about how they're wearing the same clothes in the grub truck footage and the corner club. I don't mean that they were never wearing those clothes. I just mean I don't believe that either that whole photo is photoshopped, meaning taking, from other photos and splicing them all together, or if it is a real still shot, that is from another day entirely. I don't think the grub truck footage is from that day either. There's a lot of reasons why. I'm not just theorizing. Like there's things that they say in the grub truck, things that I've found I haven't put out there yet.
Sorry.
But I don't believe that the grub truck footage is from that day. I don't believe so.
Now, speaking of the grub truck, you posted a video showing a guy in the FBI hat ordering twice within a 3-minute period, was it? Or 3 minutes later after the first?
Time throughout that 4+ hour video that I found somebody that's there multiple times wearing different outfits, by the way.
And I took another look at that, and it definitely looks like the same guy. Why would you go in wearing an FBI hat and then come back wearing different clothes within such a short period of time?
3 minutes.
What does that make you think?
Listen, think about it. How easy would it be? Okay, first of all, let me backtrack a second. The Sunday before the murders, right? The 6th, I think it was. The grub truck didn't go live. They did not. You cannot find the video. Did not stream on Twitch, right? Now, how easy would it be? Right, being that Twitch doesn't keep the videos forever, like there's only a certain, time frame where you can access them. It's 4 quadrants in that video. It could very easily splice things together, and I know it's going to sound crazy, but think about it. There's so much what sounds to be like code, speaking of code, and like things they say that don't make sense in that video. Maybe that's because that there are different times, different days in the past spliced together, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell a lot of times the workers are, you'll hear them say something and then it'll be muted, but their mouths are still moving. So it's like, that video is very easy to manipulate, is my point. And even the way people are dressed, I'm sorry, but yeah, even if you're used to the cold, you may wear shorts, and tank top, but that guy with the short and tank top, for example, he's not even like having his arms like, how you cross your arms in front of you when you're cold. You can't see anybody's breath. Like, I don't think that's on that night. Kaylee looks, and even like the pictures of Kaylee, or the picture of Kaylee and Dylan from allegedly Friday night, the party, the Pride party. Kaylee looks like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but Kaylee looks like 10, 15 pounds lighter. Her nails are fully done. She's got a whole set of new nails. Any girl that's got her nails done knows that it's a pain in the ass to sit there. You're not going to go and take them off the next day, because the next day in that group photo with Ethan, she doesn't have her nails done. Her hair looks different. Like these are old pictures that were deleted, either never made it on social media to begin with, because the Greek systems are they have a lot of rules like how you present yourself on your social media. You can't just post anything you want. Either they were never on to begin with, or they were, things were deleted, which almost every person that I've seen that's in a sorority fraternity has no posts during like the time frame right before and right after the murders. So it's like they took old pictures and like repurposed them, just the same way the Betty's Ball. The posts from the Betty's Ball that are now deleted. Like, it's just, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but you know what I'm trying to say? Am I making sense?
No, I hear you, yeah.
They take a lot of actual photos, meaning like with the camera, and get them printed. And you can see in some of the photos that are posted that are allegedly from that Friday night, you can see like kind of like a glare. So to me, it looks like someone took a picture of a picture.
Oh.
You know what I'm trying to say? Because
yeah.
then it's gonna post. It's gonna say the date. The date's gonna be, you know, one date, but then when was the actual picture from? Is my point.
Yeah, a lot of those pictures you show how the hands are all messed up and squiggly looking, which is a tendency of AI. They can't do hands well.
Do the dates match up though? With like
I think
what
this
you're
is well
saying?
planned, way in advance, and this was like honestly impressive. Honestly, because it's there's a lot of moving parts, and it's so unbelievable that people don't even want to believe it. You know, even if they could. And I wish I didn't. I wish I was, you know, oblivious, because it's scary, this world we live in. Like, this type of stuff happens.
Yeah, no, it's really scary to think that they could go all the way to trial like that in Delphi, and if they can do it there, they feel like they can do it here. And it's like Post Woke was saying, they're so used to doing it that it's normal procedure when it shouldn't be. I mean, Lady Justice is literally rolling over in her grave, you know, and I guess Brian's gonna play us a tune here.
Yeah.
It's tuned to D. Dude, hold on 1 second. Alright, thanks Brian for coming by. I'll call you in a bit.
This is another thing, like going real quick to like the body cam that they won't release from the 21st of August.
Yeah.
Which I posted in chat, I don't know if you saw, but coincidentally, 21st of August 2024 was when they dedicated the Vandal Healing Garden, and then the body cam from Brian getting pulled over in Moscow was August 21st, 2022. Anyway, so why would they say that the body cam from the 21st of August can be released because it's you know, critical to the investigation?
Yeah.
But then they go and release the Banfield camera footage, like the body cam. Like, how is that not relevant, but the seatbelt one is, you know? It doesn't make sense. I think that it's a whole other thing. The body cam from the Banfield footage was like alibis for people.
Right. And you know, another thing that's been a big topic lately is the hold on, Brian's taking up. Thank you, Brian, for stopping by.
$6 ticket for. Nice to meet you. $6 ticket for blowing something on a what do you call it?
This is a PG-13
FDOT. Oh, I'm sorry, FFF.
Oh, for the traffic thing. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I got a ticket, and I don't know where it is, and it doesn't tell me where it was or how it happened, or like it's a picture of my license or my car, but where was it? And they don't tell you that.
Yeah, that's the thing. All right, brother. We'll talk to you later, man. Thank you. Are you hungry? Did you eat dinner?
I'm good.
Okay, I made chicken. You can leave that open. It's nice out. Thank you. So another thing that's been coming up a lot is that's my neighbor Brian. We have the original traffic stop in Moscow, Jen. Do you have any feelings about that right now?
That's what I was talking about. That's the one from the 21st. That's the one they haven't released, or have they released it?
Right.
Did I miss it?
They will not release it, and Jules has tried for a umpteenth time to get a copy of it. And my question was, what your opinion on it? What do you think they're keeping it from us for?
I don't know, to be honest. I can't think of a valid reason, but like I said, it doesn't make any sense, because why can't that be released, but yet the Banfield footage can be released, and that's literally across the street from where the murder took place, you know, within hours, or in my opinion, it was the original timeline was the timeline, but it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, the wonderful little secret of this case is that if you, and I don't have to play another one because I played it enough times here on the Purge. And if you're new to the Purge, please hit the subscribe button, hit like, do all the things. Join us in the chat. Meaning will only gum you to death. Now, what you find with Sheriff Grady Judd over here in the county next to me, Lakeland, Florida, is that when they have a case and they've got a guy, they show you the footage from the CCTV cam. They show you the 911 call. They talk to witnesses. It's all out there. Everything's out there when they got a solid case. But miraculously, in a case of this magnitude, all of a sudden they can't release any information because that might give the suspect an edge. That might, or we can't release that information because of an investigation ongoing right now.
Yeah, bullshit. But if that's the case, then why would they release that they know a white launcher was in the area if they were not trying to tip him off? Like, to me, like, that would tip him off immediately, you know?
Yeah, and they make this grand gesture and get in front of that podium and just talk till they're blue in the face, and they show you the mug shots and all the events that led up to whatever happened, step by step, and how these people are scumbags and blah 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 blah. Here, they couldn't find a guy, allegedly. And
I mean, listen, at the very least, they wasted the public's time telling them to look for the wrong car. Like, why are you lying? It's one thing to keep information, but it's a whole other thing to just straight up lie.
Exactly my point. Yeah, and I can't imagine that any information you're going to leak to the public. And I can think of two other perfect examples where that happened was in the Luigi Mangione case and with also in Delphi. Here they had so much, whenever there's pressure on law enforcement, they will do anything. And we've seen it time and time again to make, and it's just like I keep saying, it's a square peg in a round hole with Kohberger, from what we've been shown. And I know that we feel the same way, that we want it to be him, and show me why. And let's get this over with. But here, if it is him, and they've come up with the crap that they put out, then we're going to have somebody freed because they dropped the ball.
Right, exactly. Like I said, guilt and incompetence can both exist, and I hope he's guilty. I hope they have something like on him on video, like irrefutably. But let's be honest, there's no way that they can because of all the other, missteps. They've shown that they cannot be trusted.
Right.
And MPD has a history of corruption before this case. So, I hope he's guilty because they won't be able to prosecute anyone. Like, in what world is it normal to remove items from the house prior to an arrest? Like, everyone just looks the other way. They were putting bloody mattresses and things in backseats of pickups in a U-Haul. Like, what? And Fry's like, I hope it helps with the healing of the families. How does give me some, there was like a chair, a vacuum, some like pillows. Like, how is that helping with their healing? They didn't even like label the boxes, like whose belongings they were. Like, that whole thing pisses me off too.
Well, Chief Fry taking charge of that Pennsylvania U-Haul. Mm-hmm. And loading and I keep saying I want a poster, if anybody wants to send me one, of Chief Fry standing at that door like he was the sheriff of Dodge City and getting ready to get into that U-Haul and finally drive all that evidence away. It's disgusting. It's never happened before.
It's not normal and it's not okay.
And there's no way that house was so toxic that it couldn't be cleaned up. I'm sorry. But if it was, then again, you have at least, if nothing else, blood trickling out that door, even if they were locked inside that room. If it's coming out of the foundation of the house, I'm sorry, you stuck your head out that door and you saw something horrible. The same as the police encountered when they allegedly first got there. And so I mean, that's why I keep saying you have to stop trying to explain what Dylan said and the PCA and blah blah blah. I stopped long ago, because the more you try, the deeper you're going to get into this doesn't make any sense. And so
well, another thing, the only reason that would make sense to me as to why Dylan would call friends before 911 and not go upstairs to ask Kaylee and Maddie for help first, is if she knew Kaylee and Maddie were not able to help her because they were no longer breathing. You know what I'm saying? Then I could rationalize it. Okay, like she saw that and then she got scared and she wanted to call friends first. Okay, I could empathize. I can accept that. I cannot accept calling friends first and also not going upstairs. There's no way. I'm sorry. There's zero chance.
There is no way that one of those students that was gathered around outside, say even if it was just 9 a.m., didn't alert a parent or possibly another campus police officer to what was going on until noon. They can't keep their mouths shut. But what you say about them calling their friends first, it's not only calling. So let's say that Dylan had called, what's her boyfriend's name, Jimmy or whatever, and had him come over. That would have been one thing. But they called someone allegedly at the frat first, Hunter Johnson, right?
Right. Dylan and like Hunter Chapin don't even follow each other on Instagram or anything. I think Bethany does, but he doesn't follow either of them back. So, like, I don't think they're friends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, who called him? Like, who is friends with him that called him?
And, yeah, why are they... Anyway, so what you've shown us over and over and over again is that the frats are determined, no matter what the case, to keep what event ever happened squashed and then get pushed under the rug. And the Moscow PD has demonstrated an ability and a willingness to do that. Take Timmy Reed, for example, and run with that. Take anything that's ever happened at that college and chew on that. You might want to look at Hudson Lindau or the girl, and the recent video that you showed with the guy falling out of the balcony. And no matter what, they are instructed to inform the president or the head of the frat, and then they contact their lawyers from there. And then they're instructed not to talk to the police. But I honestly, I think somehow the police got mixed up in this early on in that morning, and then finally said, okay, now we'll place an official call to 911, and we'll call it a passed out person, when somehow miraculously also, when the paramedics arrive, they send them on their way. How do you know? In one...
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
No, I was saying, if that was true, then that means it was so blatantly obvious that they were beyond help, which then ties into, once again, why did you, how did you not know? Like, when you
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's all, like, you can't have one with with the other. It's one or the other.
Yeah, it's so odd that they don't release this 911 call by now. And I do
They could just release a transcript if they want to keep the caller's identity,
sure,
confidential. They could just release a transcript.
So those two things alone make you wonder what was in Brian Koberger's car in that, or was happened that they want to keep that a secret in the first pullover, and secondly, what is in the 911 call that said that nobody is allowed to hear, or
I just had an idea. What if he wasn't alone in the car? What if he was with somebody tied to the victims, maybe, or with the frats?
I believe it does say that he was by himself in the car.
Yeah, but a lot of things they say is not the truth.
Yeah, you can't believe anything you hear out of these people. But yeah, As far as the 911 call goes, I think that whatever they said, it's an unconscious person. I think that it was just a crazy scene, and they said, oh, somebody passed out. Maybe Dylan passed out from what she saw.
No.
That's the only thing way I can explain it.
Come on, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, none of it does it? I don't know where we go from here. But let's take a look at this video so Leslie and Billy can do their dishes there. I don't know what this is.
Did you play the one I posted yesterday about? I mean, I'm sure everybody saw it already, but about Dylan and Bethany, since we're talking about it.
I'll play it after. I'll play it again after. Let me listen to this because she's gonna blow her top if I don't. So here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. On the 9th of January 2025, according to the case summary page, 2 items were filed by the defense in preparation for the January 23rd, 2025 hearing. You will recall by Judge Stephen Hippler's recent scheduling order that the defense was to file their witness lists and their exhibit lists for the motions hearing on the 23rd. One is a motion to redact or seal this information. That is a public record. It will eventually show up on the docket. The other will not. It is the actual witness and exhibit list on behalf of the defense. Next 2 items. One is a public record. Motion to redact or seal newly filed records. It is a stipulated motion to seal Exhibit A to defendant's first supplemental response. This is to the state of Idaho's discovery. So this relates to how the defense is now responding to discovery served upon them by the state. It's consistent with everything both sides have done since the beginning of the case when it relates to discovery. The actual Exhibit A to defendant's first supplemental response to discovery is the next item on the case summary page. It is under seal. So the public remains in the dark regarding what is being requested and what is being served in discovery. This has been since January of 2023 with the first discovery request, which was served by the defense. Again, these 2 items of the 9th of January relate to the defense responding to the state's first supplemental response to discovery. Next is a public record. It is a supplemental response to request for discovery. Again, this is related to the first supplemental response to discovery by the defense to the state. The next items are rather interesting. They are all dated the 10th of January 2025. The first is a stipulated motion for sealed protective order. That is under seal. The next is the proposed protective order. And then finally, there is a stipulated motion to seal, the stipulation for protective order, and the sealed protective order. That last item is a public record. It will be showing up on the docket at some time in the near future, hopefully. I would not expect for the name of any person that this protective order is for to be in this document, because the other 2, the actual proposed protective order itself that the parties are submitting and asking Judge Hippler to enter, it is under seal. So there is no reason to think that the motion to redact and seal, this stipulated motion to seal stipulation for protective order and the sealed protective order, will be public. So this raises a couple of points here. First, whenever we see discovery in this case, for the most part, it's been the defense serving discovery on the state of Idaho. The state of Idaho has served discovery in the past. They did, for example, back in 2023, serve on Mr. Kohberger a request for discovery, which also included the demand for the alibi defense. So it's not unheard of, although it's rare for the state to have served discovery on Mr. Kohberger in this case, but there's a supplemental discovery request here. So it is going to be interesting as we get down the line closer to trial, hopefully we'll know what this discovery for both sides is all about. As of right now, it remains tightly under seal. And then finally, it is extremely interesting to know that both parties have come together and are asking for a protective order. But like everything else in the case, when it comes to the no contact orders, for example, that Judge Hippler recently filed, they were all filed under seal. So it is not unusual for the parties to go to the court and ask for a protective order to be entered under seal to protect the names of the people that they're for the benefit of. So at this point, if you would like to review the documents that we've addressed here, please go to the link and you can review them for yourself on the public docket. Go to the case summary page. Thank you, as always, for joining us here today.
All right, Jen, we're back. What do you think of that?
I'll be honest, I was in chat. I kind of tuned it out, but...
Were you chowing down again?
I was talking to Angel in chat. I wasn't fully engaged. I'm sorry.
Well, both sides are asking for protection orders. And...
protection orders for who? Like, explain more. I'm sorry.
Okay.
First, whenever we see discovery in this case, for the most part, it's been the defense.
We don't know. Everything's under tight seal. And that's the point. Is so I've heard people say it before. Now while I'm thinking about it, when the seatbelt law was first enacted here in Florida, I had a state trooper pull me over because he said he saw me not wearing my seatbelt. So that was the entire reason and I didn't know at that time they couldn't pull you over for that.
They can pull you over for a seatbelt? Yes, they can.
They cannot. It's not legal to pull you over for the seatbelt. I don't know if that was something that came about later, but from what I understand, you cannot pull somebody over just for not wearing their seatbelt. You can give them a ticket if they're not wearing their seatbelt after you pull them over.
You get a ticket if you don't pull them over.
Well, it's like an add-on ticket, more money for the state, and...
Oh, if they pull you over for speeding. I don't know. I feel like I know some people that have gotten pulled. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I definitely did, and I don't know if the laws changed or whatever, and I believe it was Roland Moda that said that it was illegal to pull you over for just seatbelt infraction. Anyway,
it's different in every state, I'm sure.
Could very well be. But that's besides the point. What else were you saying?
So protection orders. Remember, do you want to pull up the search warrants in Washington? Because I was looking at them again today, and there's a lot of goodies in there. There's that one line, something about how if they don't redact it or something like. Oh no, I'm sorry. When they were talking about the DNA in the knife sheath, I think it was Dawn Daniels, maybe, whatever. It said something like that. It would cause the law enforcement to not be safe or. Hold on, let me find it. I'm not even making sense right now.
No, you're good. I gotta close the door because the bugs are coming in here now. Even though I got a screen porch to get through. Yeah, no, the little no-see-ums are terrible.
Real quick. Exactly the wording, so I'm not guessing. It's not making sense.
Yeah, turn the AC back on.
Jeopardize the safety of law enforcement or something like that.
Yeah, you wonder. A lot of people have brought to the attention that perhaps all these protective orders are because of there are agents involved or maybe informants involved. Do we know exactly how many confidential informants are involved in this case or anything like that?
I didn't know that. I didn't think there was any 100% confirmation of any of that.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they let Ann know. That whole thing is pretty scary. Anyway,
where the hell is this? Hold on.
If you want to put it in the chat, can you put it in the chat?
Yeah. Let me find it.
Now, what's that video you wanted me to play again of yours?
I don't know if you played it, the video that I posted yesterday about Dylan and Bethany.
Let me pop that up real quick.
I think I posted it yesterday.
2 days. It says 2 days ago, but it says
It's
no
the second
time.
video, not the one you played earlier, but
No time for feelings.
yeah.
That one. Okay, let's play that. We go ahead and look for it.
Did you know that
Yep.
Amazon has a $50 million fund that they
Yep.
have to pay out every month? And here's how you can get a cut of it.
Police say the killing of University of Idaho students Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were isolated and targeted. But Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell says it's difficult to describe why investigators still believe that's the case.
To provide that answer, that would be providing investigative and evidentiary information based on what we've seen at the scene, knowing the fact that the house did not appear to have been broken into or forced entry, as well, knowing the evidence from the crime scene itself. The detectives and the chief of police feel very comfortable or confident in saying that this was undoubtedly directed and targeted.
Did the girls have any deepens? Authorities revealing 2 surviving roommates arrived home that night before the victims and were likely sleeping at the time of the attack.
What I can say is that the roommates who survived, they were in the basement throughout the night.
They awakened several hours later.
I know everyone talks about tunnels, but I believe the house had a basement, not a tunnel. And I don't mean the first floor where Bethany's bedroom is, I mean an actual basement. Half basement, to be exact. Every home in that neighborhood, including the apartment buildings, all have basements. So it's a logical assumption that 1122 King also had a basement. More on that in my next video.
There's no forced entry, and there's no dog barking. Do we think it was someone that they knew?
We don't know if the dog was barking or not, so that's part of the ongoing investigation to figure out kind of what occurred.
Why doesn't he know that? DM and BF should have given statements on day 1. CCTV next door should have been checked on day 1. I feel like they reverse engineered this entire investigation, poorly.
I think there is something fishy with those 2 survivors. First of all, they were apparently on the first floor, and the attacker or attackers went up to the second and third floor, and so in other words, they would have had to have passed the rooms where.
Well, not necessarily. Depends where you enter. It's a strange house. There's a sliding door on that second level that we're going to talk about more tonight. But
yes, okay, but
I want to stop right there real quick because I want to talk about something somebody mentioned today I saw about Steve G saying they didn't have to go to the second and third floor, and that there was a fight. The fight carried over to the house. Xana's dad was called. Xana's dad wanted to come and help and protect her. But he was too drunk, and they kept him from doing that. And then the crimes happened. I mean, if you want to talk about motive and means and whatever, there it is, right there. That's something that, if not looked into further, then they've definitely dropped the ball again. Or why it makes me want that type of thing makes me wonder. Is the whole story actually already laid out for us right in front of us? And in the beginning? From the beginning, yeah. And they just say, look.
I think so. I definitely think so.
And then they're just so used to getting their way and being able to push whatever they want through that they went ahead and did it anyway. And that's the only logical thing that I could see at this point after 2 years of banging my head against the wall. Where we're at, and it's so funny because it's like, a lot of people say, oh, don't go back and rehash the old past. Nobody's interested in it. Well, the answer is I think it was SGSU that said that hindsight is 20/20. Unfortunately, in this case, the hindsight is like 10/10. It's all scrambled and blurry. But I think that if you focus on the right areas, that the answers are there.
Yeah, before the cover-up. I mean, before things started to get covered up, period. Like, of course, it's going to make more sense in the beginning, looking backwards, because I feel like they were vague on purpose to give themselves room to cover it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can see the shift, literally, when after Mabbitt and the mayor both spoke their minds about the case.
And Thompson came out and he made his statements, and MPD literally said he's not going to be doing more interviews. Like, just they straight up shut him up. Like, it wasn't like these people said things once. It was like multiple times the same thing. Undoubtedly targeted. The house was, like it wasn't being pulled out of their ass. Like, they were very confident in what they were saying. And also, you got to remember, UI lifted the bundle or like within like less than an hour. They would not have done that if they were not reassured, undoubtedly, that no one else was in danger. So that means there was enough right then and there, within an hour of finding, the crime scene. There was enough to give them that reassurance. You know what I'm saying? Because they would not have. I mean, as twisted as they might be, they're not going to risk that. I would hope not. If there was really someone out there. And that makes sense. That answers the question as to why they wouldn't have put out a bolo and said, be on the lookout for a, male, 5'10" or taller with brown hair, blah, 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 bushy eyebrows. Because they didn't do all that because it didn't happen. They knew their answer that first day, I think.
Someone else had suggested that if this was, say, AB or the Knights of Columbus or anybody that was a hardcore organization that is Murder Inc., everybody in that house would have been taken out. There would have been no prisoners, so to speak.
Right, exactly. No, that's what I always come back to, is whatever theory anybody puts out there, if it doesn't explain Dylan and Bethany, then I can't. I just move on, because that's so crucial, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Heather said that how could it be a crime of passion, but also that the house was the target? And you think that's a good point Angel D made, is that if the house was the target, that would mean it was about business and not about a personal. But I think that we see over and over, and that's why I showed that one video today from Largo with the guy stabbing the girl. Knives are used in something personal or a crime of passion. And a crime of passion would be defined as something that happened as a result of overflowing emotions or feelings. It's sort of like not a premeditated thing. You grab a knife off the kitchen counter and whatever, and now you protect yourself or you attack someone with that knife. And you see that 100% of the time.
Now remember, they were coming out in these press releases and saying, we're looking for context to the events that occurred. We're not concerned about anything that you're doing, if you're drinking or whatever. Like, we're not concerned about that. We just want to know the context. To me, that sounds to me like they knew kind of what happened. You know what I'm saying?
That also lends itself to the theory that they know that there was some drugs happening in that house.
Right.
And they're like, look, we're going to overlook that. And it's like I said, the truth is right there in front of us, splayed out, and then they throw all these little posts in and little bombs and IEDs to throw us off the track for some reason. And it's wild. It's hard to... And so, sliders are easy to open, but if someone knew that house and knew that the sliding glass door was typically open, then they could easily just pop in and out. And I don't see that you could easily open, unless it's one of these brand new sliding doors that's super quiet, opening up, that you could even open that without hearing it in that house. I don't think you can do anything in that house without somebody hearing it, let alone this is the percussion sound of a knife on a chest, and this is a scream, you're in a paper-thin door in a house with paper-thin walls. you're going to hear every damn thing other than somebody's here and, oh, I thought they were playing with their dog that probably wasn't even there.
Right. Well, when Fry said in the beginning that the door was open, and then he backtracked and said he wasn't sure. So it's like, okay, is the door open? Did he go through the front and know the keypad code, or did he go through the back? Like, which one was it? Like, they try to cover both aspects of it. They're trying to say, oh, they left the back window, back door unlocked. Oh, no, he knew the keypad code. Like, which one is it?
Yeah, and for somebody that doesn't seem to have any association with the house or the girls or Ethan or anyone,
how would he know the code?
I can't imagine the reasoning or the bravado to just drive your car up there on camera and not get out and commit a crime in 18 minutes. I mean, whatever that car was, it drove around. They didn't get out.
Listen, the reviews for the Queen Road Apartments, the one thing that is pretty consistent with all the reviews is that the walls are thin and there's no parking, right?
Right.
So it could just be someone looking for parking. I mean, period.
Or, yeah, could be a delivery driver or whatever, but it just makes more sense that somebody in the area was able to take a quiet path, a dark path, whatever, do the thing, walk right back home and get away with it. You know, like, if you consider, like, robbing a bank or whatever, and it's on the corner by your house, and you're going to do it quickly and quietly, you get on some kind of motorized scooter, and you go in there, you do it, and you come out with the money and fly back home and hopefully make it to your garage. Not that I thought about it. And and get away with it. And that's, if this was a pre-planned thing, either A, it was so well planned and so well executed that they were able to completely fool the brainiacs over there at MPD and ISP and the agents of the FBI, or they were covered up from what happened. And if it's true that the fight started, say, at Shark Tank or whatever, or at the frat, and it spilled over into the house, I mean, if that was true, and I knew for a fact that was true, I don't really need to go any further than that. And then for Steve G to add, they didn't need to go upstairs. The fight was downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
That
they were paying a lot of attention to the bottom right, that empty room. Like, I even saw one news clip, like, they were inside, like, shining a flashlight around or a black light or something like that. Like, why are we even bothering that room if nothing happened? You know what I'm saying? I think that the basement is a half basement underneath that room.
Well, forensically, in my opinion, every single square inch of that house should have been dissected, as well as every single resident of that area, their phones taken or looked at least. And then if somebody doesn't volunteer, then you look into them in other ways, because there's your red flag. Oh, they don't want to cooperate with the investigation. What's going on,
Yeah. Another thing about your point with the frats not giving info and staying, and not coming out and helping as much as they can for their brother is the fact that, I mean, up until like mid-December, they were still asking for, info on where Ethan and Xana were for 5 hours. Even on the PCA, it's like word salad. It doesn't even clearly state their whereabouts. Why were they asking the public for help when they had all those frat and sorority members to ask? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
There's no way. Like, they were hiding something. All of their socials are deleted at the same time. Like, it makes more sense. Like, where there's smoke, there's fire. Like.
So welcome in, Typically Unique. I did play a video for you yesterday of the lake snow effect there thing or whatever, and I was thinking about it. It looked like a straight up blizzard out of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or something. But she brings up a good question about this here. Let me see if I can find it again.
Yeah, I didn't see. I'm not in chat right now. I'm trying to find what I was talking about before, but I don't know.
There's a lot of good stuff in the chat right now. My goodness. I love that we get the upper echelon of people in our lives. It's really amazing, and I honestly have to go back and watch it again. And it's funny, Jen. I don't know what it is, but I'll be like, okay, let me just see how the intro is, and then I'll look up and it's 2 hours later. I'm like, why am I still watching myself? And I'll be reading the chats and whatever, just to kind of catch up with what everything's saying.
Chat as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't watch our stuff because I can't. I hate hearing my own voice.
Well, we love having you on. I thank you again for being on with us tonight, and
thank you.
You brought a good thing. I guess probably we should shut it down there. I'm trying to keep these shows under 3 hours, guys.
That's fine with me because I am tired, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has. Space Agent again. Rollamano. I've been really tired. I don't know if anybody else has been feeling it, but I'll sleep. I'll wake up and be like, man, I got to take a nap. I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's going on with me. Maybe I had a little something and I beat it by sleeping it off. I don't know. I hope so. If I had it. All right. Well, let's see here. I guess we could play us out. Anything else you want to add, Jen?
No, but you didn't finish playing my video, but it's okay.
Well, we played it the last time, the whole thing. It's
we did? I didn't know if we did. Because I came on late.
Yeah, we played it before you got here. That helped me kill a little time with some filler, some fluff. I'm just kidding.
What is this? I don't know why I can't find it right now.
Let's see here. I did try to watch the Pavarotti video today, and it was just, I don't know. He wasn't that upset, it didn't seem like.
I haven't watched seen any of his videos, to be honest.
Before we go, I know you guys want to keep chatting, and so I'll do one more thing. Let me take a look, because I'll be honest with you, A.R. Hayes has really been stepping it up lately, and he did a live with Swamp Rose and Robert last night, or the night before. And let me see, is this AR's page yet? And I was pretty impressed, to be honest with you. And this is one I haven't watched yet. You want to sit through and watch this real quick? It's AR's pretty quick. Thank you, Red Riding Hood.
Fridges,
thank you very much. That's very
dressers,
generous of you.
drawers,
I appreciate
couches,
that.
mattresses, bed frames, concrete,
Let's
things
get
like
this
that.
commercial
Same
here.
Yeah, I'll find this later and send it to you because I don't know where the hell it is.
Let's get past the... Oh, sorry, AR. Okay.
When it comes to the Bryan Kohberger Idaho 4 case, there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of thoughts. And there's a lot of people that for some reason want to go back and forth and critique each other. I'm no longer one of them. Do you remember I made a community post not long ago about holding myself accountable, being better of a person than I had been? I'm sure many of you started to see my kind of downhill trend to where I got into some debates that were turning negative. I've turned that page, and I turned it before I came back to the platform. So for the many of you that continue to email me and try to bring my attention away from my own work, my own thoughts, my own way of doing things to look at somebody else, it's not going to work. I don't pay attention any longer to things that I feel are going to bring negativity towards myself. You see, I'm in a battle every single day for my life. I'm not going to just continuously lay it out for all of you because I don't want people to feel pity for me or, think that I'm complaining about my circumstances. But yes, I am battling cancer. I am battling kidney failure. Dialysis is not working appropriately, and if many of you don't know, that means you have a very short term of life left. I am scrambling with the wife to work with doctors and try to find a way to get past it. So anybody that wants to continuously email me based upon people's words that I've been scared off of the platform, or I'm intimidated by other creators and the great work that they're doing, you don't know me. I don't walk my daily life with fear of anything or anyone. That's not a part of my lifestyle anymore. I don't even fear my health concerns. I don't fear what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm living each and every single day in a positive nature. Now, I get it. Many of you are reaching out because I did a video in regards to an alternative suspect defense, and many people are putting the spin that I'm in some sort of debate with other creators in regards to that. I'm not. And as a matter of fact, I even made the statement that the defense is going to move forward and attempt to utilize an alternative suspect defense. And I'm even going to give you some ideas and some thoughts of how I feel as though they're going to possibly do that and showcase that at trial. But my discussion in my video and even my headline when it comes to the Judge Hitler allowing it within the courtroom all stems from the prosecution's attempts to block an alternative suspect defense. See, what I need people before we move forward into this conversation to really legitimately sit back and fully grasp is the fact there's one thing about this case that's not going to change. Law enforcement is not changing their mind on Bryan Kohberger being their one and only suspect. Prosecution is not changing their path to prosecute Bryan Kohberger as the one and only suspect of the Idaho 4 crime. That's not going to change. It doesn't matter what continues to flow into tip lines, email accounts, whatever might be brought to their attention. Law enforcement side of things are locked and loaded, and they've made up their mind. And let me even tell you a little bit further part of that story. If this case gets dismissed, they will continue to push and pursue Bryan Kohberger as the perpetrator of this crime. I'm not saying that because I think it's right, and I'm not saying that because I feel as though Bryan Kohberger is guilty. I'm saying that because it's the absolute truth. This is what law enforcement and prosecution offices do. They push and they push and they push once they've made the determination that they've arrested the person that they wanted to arrest. It's sad because even false confessions where law enforcement and even prosecution knows it's false will continue to push. In this scenario, Bill Thompson and the other people that are going to join his team in this prosecution are going to do all they can to build roadblocks in Ann Taylor's and Bryan Kohberger's defense strategies. Look, I like Massoth. I think that she is a creditable lawyer. I think she's going to truly help Ann Taylor in the defense of Bryan Kohberger, but I see the wink link, and it is definitely Logston. I think that that is going to cause issues because if you literally look at the motions that are filed to the court that are written by he himself, yes, I know many get a little giggle and a Google gaga out of the fact that he spills little beans here or there. But let me tell you, he's not very good. And unfortunately, I think he makes some pretty dishonest comments within his writings as well. Ann Taylor and her defense strategy is notorious for attacking investigations and finding issues in the way that those investigations were not only conducted, but how evidence was compromised during the investigation. And then also she is excellent at attacking prosecution. She had a prior client off of a actual murder case that was guilty. She had fought that battle and got that case won until they refiled and he was found guilty. So she is very good at what she does, and it is showcasing in the Bryan Kohberger case. She is determined to work the case step by step and be extremely thorough in the process that it takes to defend her client. No complaints in regards to Ann Taylor or Massa. Do I think it's a good mix with the judge that we're looking at, Hippler? We're going to find out. We're going to find.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was muted. My bad. I hit the button, but it didn't click. We're gonna shut it down there, and I'm gonna try to play us out on a song. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just see if we can find Douglas's song here. Otherwise, I'll play the other one there. There we go. There's Douglas Outlaw, and yeah, this one was written for Lana, and then he's got a new one here. If you want to go to his page and check it out. Well, let's get him some more views on this one here, and I really dig this song and it kind of brought a tear to my eye because it's nice to have a reward for all your hard work and somebody with some talent that recognizes it. Thank you, Angel D. I appreciate it. I do have an avatar for you doing this one, bro. There it is. Angel D got it. But yeah, we'll play it out. Jen, again, thank you a million for being here. And I appreciate you taking your time to join us, and everybody for joining us tonight and for the awesome show and chat. So here we go with Douglas Adams. And say goodnight, Jen.